Hello. What's going on? Oh, I keep... I'm trying to get the screen to move. I'm trying to move the window for Streamlabs, but it's, you know, little... Come on. Come on. I want to try something else. This is... Oh. Oh. I think it's... Yeah, it is that. Wow. I need a new keyboard. Because mine is not working properly. Now I gotta figure out where this goes. Nope. That's too high. You can see me adjust it in real time. Yeah. Alright. How are we all doing this fine morning, evening, or whatever it is, wherever you are in the world? I actually do need a new keyboard. That's getting to be a problem. This one is even that old. But, oh boy, and then as soon as I open Amazon, the stream starts to slow down. Oof. You know what? I will look for a new keyboard later, not right now. The problem is I'm kind of torn. I probably should get, like, just a standard, you know, like, gaming keyboard, mechanical keyboard. But, there were these really cool typewriter-inspired ones that I like. Quiet? Is it quiet? Shouldn't be quiet, but... I was saying that I saw mechanical keyboards that looked really neat. That were inspired by, you know, like, typewriters, but the issue is I'm not sure how good those are for playing video games compared to these ones. Thoughts on the Friendly Geordie situation? Oh, shit. I don't, and concerning. That's kind of the short, abridged version of what I think about all that. Haven't heard good things about those typewriter keyboards. Yeah, I think that's my concern, is that they might be too gimmicky, and that there is a compromise like that. There is a compromise there, which I don't want, so... Yeah, I'll probably just get, like, a Logitech or something. The one I did get was kind of cheap, and, I don't even really like it that much at all. I'm kind of not happy with this purchase, but that's okay. We all make mistakes. You build your own keyboard, or do you just buy them? I'm building my keyboard. I already built my computer, isn't that enough? No, I don't build. Just get a basic one. Oh boy, thanks for subscribing at tier 3 too. Wow. Now that reminds me that I need to make more emotes. I keep delaying it because there's other stuff I've been trying to do. But seriously though, thanks. Much appreciated. Get a basic one. Mine was 16, lasted years. Well, I mean, the one that I got before this one actually lasted really well. I'm not even sure why I decided to get a new one. That was a mistake, though. I guess I could just fish around for the old one, clean it up a bit, and then plug it back in instead of buying a new one. You can get your own custom keycaps and build them for cheaper. Oh. It's not a matter of cheaper in this case. I don't care to do that, would be all I would say. It's not something that interests me. Are you aware of the Megalania, a giant Australian Komodo dragon? Is that like an extinct species that used to live here when we had like mega marsupials? Sounds like something that we had when there were mega marsupials walking around. You know, like giant kangaroos. Imagine seeing a giant kangaroo, like a kangaroo that's 8 feet tall hopping towards you. I don't know whether to be excited or terrified. Oh, sorry. You assume it's extinct. Have you checked out the new Suicide Squad trailer? Yeah, I did. It looks cool. I'm excited for that movie. Which is more than I can say for basically anything that's coming out of Marvel at the moment, which, man, that's weird. Feels weird to say that. But I am. I'm more excited for Suicide Squad and The Batman than I am for anything that Marvel's working on. Because with Spider-Man, it's like, I'm anticipating it, and that I'm interested in it, but I'm really worried about it. I'm quite worried about that movie. And I'll be really upset if it's bad. But I mean, otherwise, what is there that I'd be looking forward to? Has Loki episode 2 already come out? Episode 3 is coming out tonight. So I guess I'll have to be watching that. Snyder fans are molding on Twitter because Idris Elba's character put Superman in a hospital. I hear the statement that the indie scene is better than the AAA gaming scene, but I never know what it means and what aspect is it better. So generally, the observation that people are starting to make more and more now is that the AAA industry is immobile in the sense that these projects are so big that you can't really experiment all that much. You know, you can experiment a bit, but if something's not working, it's kind of just too bad because you have to release. There's too much money at play. It's just these projects are too expensive to really try anything unique or crazy, and the developers kind of just don't have the they don't have the runway to do that. Whereas with indie developers, because you don't need to sell so many copies, and because it's a fairly small game with a small number of people working on it, you don't really have that issue of, oh, I want to try this new gameplay mechanic. It's like, well, we got to ship in this month. It's like, well, we don't. We're indie developers. We can ship whenever we want. And also, because the game is small enough, we can make these changes without having to radically, like, overhaul huge components of the game, you know. Like if you're in Halo and you wanted to make a significant change, not just, like, balancing, but, like, a significant change to the mechanics, like the movement, and you've already got levels designed, you just can't, like, and there are, you know, there's a trade-off there. So yeah, basically, long story short, indie games can be more creative in terms of gameplay mechanics. They can be more innovative because they can afford to be more innovative and unique and risky as ideas. Ugh. And then there's also the element, I guess, of, like, you know, you root for indie games because they're kind of the underdogs. I think what you see in, like, the value of indie games is, oh, like, video games... There's really... Video games can just run the gambit. They really can. There's so many differences between the different types of video games that exist. Damn it. You have to release. My stupid part of the brain keeps telling me that. I hate it so much. It takes time to write good things. Well, so it's complicated because on some level you do have to release. I just finished reading a Steven Pressfield book called Do the Work, and it's like, yeah, the final chapter was just talking about how, you know, you just have to release at some point. At some point you need to say, oh, I'm done. Like, we're done. And then release. There's not really much value. I mean, it's saying, right, perfect is the enemy of good. there is diminishing returns. At some point, you put in all the work that you really could have put in. You're not going to see much improvement unless you just do something totally different. It's pretty funny. It's pretty rich for me to say this. Somebody who is, like, notoriously bad at finishing things. Well, probably not notorious. I'm not that important. But, yeah, finishing things is, important. Thoughts on the Mr. Nimbus and the new Rick and Morty? I thought that new episode was great. I was so happy when they did the reveal with the doorway. Like, at that point, I was super thrilled. I really enjoyed that episode a lot. Cool character development for Morty and his relationship with Jessica, which hasn't really been going anywhere for a while. Yeah, I really liked that episode. The head writer for the new Star Wars show, Acolyte, said that she's never watched Star Wars content. Ah, that's weird. Why would you want to write for something you've never heard of or seen or have any interest in? And I guess that's a big thing. You have so little interest that you didn't even watch, like, one movie. So you were totally disinterested. It would be like if you got me to do Star Trek content. Hope this season's better than Season 4. Well, let's not slag Season 4 too much. Like, I would agree that it's not as strong as the other seasons, but there were some really great episodes, like the Story Train. That was an amazing episode. I feel like that ending was a cop-out for them to not check. Man, I shot him like a solid second before I died. Dan Harmon doesn't really focus on writing relationships, does he? No, that's one of his pitfalls. But remember, it's not just Dan Harmon. There is a team, and Justin Roiland is co-creator. Vat of Acid was really good. The writer for Loki said he's working on Kevin Feige's Star Wars film. Yeah, he's just, like, moving onwards and upwards, really. Because he's writing Doctor Strange as well, and yeah, the new Star Wars. But you're seeing this, funnily enough, there are a lot of, like, former Rick and Morty writers who are working in the MCU now. Because the person who's doing She-Hulk, the head writer for that, wrote the Pickle Rick episode. I believe that there is... The guy who actually wrote that episode of Rick and Morty that just came out is writing Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I guess what I will find interesting is if all of those people move away from Rick and Morty and make stuff that isn't very good. At that point, you gotta wonder if there's just something about working on the Rick and Morty writing team that is, like, making this content great. If it's, like, the collaborative team effort, or even the environment. Pickle Rick was a pretty decent episode. Oh, I wasn't really slagging it when I was saying that. Like, I think it's a really good episode. I keep mentioning that the guy who wrote, Loki wrote the toilet episode, which is one of my less favorite Rick and Morty, like, it probably is one of my least favorite, but this is Rick and Morty. Least favorite means good. Like, that's how high the bar is set for that show. The worst episode is still like a 7 out of 10. Do you think Master Chief should eventually be killed or retire in future Halo games? Yeah, he probably should die. I don't think he would retire. I don't really see Master Chief being the kind of person who retires, so he would need to be killed off, I think, if you wanted to have him gone. And of course, if you have him retire, they could bring him back, and I don't want that. I just, yeah. Or maybe as more and more of them leave, Rick and Morty will just get better. Well, I don't... Rick and Morty's still really good. Writers should stick to what they're good at. I don't know if I want to say that. I think that anybody who's being creative should feel free and willing to explore and push their boundaries and see what they can do. I don't see anything wrong with that. I guess the issue is just, I don't know how you go from, like, Rick and Morty to Loki. I don't know how you get from something that was that good to something that is so catastrophic. Suppose that's the same case with Community. Oh, that's actually something yeah, like, there's a lot of people who left Community who ended up getting involved in, Marvel projects. Obviously, the Russo brothers were the main ones. Big executive producers, directed a bunch of episodes of Community, went on to do all sorts of stuff. Thanks for subscribing, man. Resubscribing. I've said this, hey Fringa, I've said this once, but I cannot say it enough. Thank you for, thank you, along with the EFAP crew, for your critical thinking when it comes to media. Along with that, you guys, along with what you've said about mobile games, fuck mobile games. Thanks. I'm glad that you find value in what I'm doing. What does Loki and Rick and Morty have in common? Oh, it's just the head writer for Loki wrote for Rick and Morty and was a producer on that show. That's all. Otherwise, there isn't really a connection at all. Bad time to reload. Damn it. So, can they explore and experiment with new IPs, not the things I like? I mean, yeah, that'd be preferable. I guess the problem is I'm trying to think of it from their point of view. Well, no, you know what? No, actually, yeah. If you get brought on to work on something that doesn't belong to you, I actually do think you should tread carefully in terms of what you want to mess around with, you know? It's not yours. You're inheriting something that somebody else gave you. Kind of reminds me of, you know, Halo 4. We want to make something new. It's like, well, I don't know, don't work for 343. You're making Halo games. I feel like the problem is that it's a little, it's not quite that simple, obviously. But I just don't feel that it's a good idea to take something that isn't yours and then radically overhaul it in a way that contradicts what came before. Well, the problem is that we need to be on the same wavelength. If we don't believe that there is such a thing as, like, you know, law or, like, or it's, you know, contradictions on a scale that break a story. Like, if we can't agree on that, then we're not... Then at that point, we're not even really, you know, how we... That train of thought was totally lost. We want to do something, something new. A few minutes later, we're taken back to its roots. Yeah, that's a common one. Whenever it gets too tired, you just gotta feign that you're taking it back to its roots, even if you're not. Like, Halo Infinite is clearly not Halo Combat Evolved. I don't know how anybody would think otherwise. Damn it. I used to be addicted to a mobile game. I used to spend hundreds of dollars a month, so glad I broke away from it. I cringe every time I think about how much I used to spend. Well, shouldn't feel too bad. It's just, because of course, they're designed on purpose to hook people in. I mean, they are meticulously crafted with the express, well, not the express, the implicit purpose of getting as many people as possible addicted to these games. Here are a bunch of indie game recommendations. Spiritfarer, FTL, Amori, and Into the Breach. I'm pretty sure I own FTL, and I played a bit of Into the Breach. I thought that game was cool. I really should give it more of a chance, though, because I only played it for a few hours. It's like, basically just XCOM, cool pixel art. I always hear really good things about FTL. Like, I remember, Look, I can't take all the credit. The team did help. Did you finish Backbone? Not yet. I haven't played it for about a week or so. I've been trying to focus more on the projects, but I would like to keep playing it. I was having fun with it. We can debate the best Marvel film for ages, but I find Winter Soldier the most enjoyable on MCU rewatches. I don't. Civil War. I adore Civil War. And as it stands now, I can't really enjoy Winter Soldier anymore because it's like broken to the core. I don't even really find the action all that enjoyable anymore because of how little sense it makes. It's just really fast. Damn it. Guardians of the Galaxy is another one. Homecoming's a lot of fun, I agree. Ow. Infinity War's my favorite. I have a lot of fun watching Infinity War too. It's a fun movie. Races by. I absolutely pulled the trigger first. But okay. I found Captain Marvel to be the most bland. That's fair. I think Captain Marvel is pretty... Well, I mean, that movie is terrible, but I think that, in fact, I mean, I'm pretty sure Mola said it, and I agree that that film's biggest success was convincing people that it's just mediocre. That was that film's greatest success, because it's terrible. Like, it's actually awful. I'm also fired first that time. Oh. Thought the Dark World was just forgettable. Yep. I hope Black Widow will be good. I am not optimistic about it. I really reserve little hope for that movie. How do you defend comedy when humor is really subjective? Comedy's difficult. It's tricky. It doesn't really... I find that it's hard to figure out comedy by the standards that I'm trying to use when I'm figuring out what's good or bad. I think comedy is subjective. Like, comedy is subjective. There are things that you can do which will make you more or less likely to get a laugh. I don't want to compare it to music, because music is incredibly complicated. I don't know enough about music theory to say. But, with comedy, there are just things that you can do that are more likely to make people laugh. Oh. And that's, like, all you... So, like, when we say BoJack isn't funny, it's like, what does that mean to say that BoJack isn't funny? Because in terms of what it means when I'm saying it, it's just that, there's nothing about BoJack's writing that is particularly clever or interesting in terms of setups and payoffs. There's nothing very subversive about it, which is funny, because subversion is like that's the no-no word, but like comedy is kind of built on subversion of expectations. Yeah, I mean, that's like one of the core building blocks of comedy. Set up an expectation, subvert it. A big aspect of comedy, though, that you can sort of tie to, if you're trying to be consistent, is the idea of comedy being derived from things that are in character. So, right, it's funny when Basil Fawlty, everything goes wrong and he starts freaking out and lashing out at everybody. It's consistent with who he is. So it works on that level. As opposed to characters behaving really differently. In a way that doesn't make sense. Poop jokes versus Monty Python. Yeah, poop jokes can be funny. I certainly think so. It's tough. I think it's a generally understood, like, a sort of idea of effort, originality, how frequently are you doing the same joke. So one of the things that was frustrating about watching BoJack was that they have about 4 or 5 jokes that they just do over and over again. Like, that's the formula. There are... Oh. Huh. I just got booted out of the game. I got booted out of the game again. There we go. I just got booted out of the game a 4th time. Slayer. Finally. Betrayal. Lost the lead. Why is it running so badly all of a sudden? Oh, there we are. Imagine having... Oh my... Okay. What the?
Gain the lead. Gain the lead.
Okay, we're doing better now? There we go. Oh, and then die instantly. I began to not enjoy BoJack when I started to notice the patterns of the jokes. I have other reasons to dislike it, but I can't figure out how to word it. Well, my biggest problem with BoJack is that it's really wasting its dramatic potential. It really doesn't push any of its concepts quite far enough. There's a lot of jumping to payoffs without trying to build them up. But in terms of the comedy, the pattern is really long sentences. That's one joke. Puns. That's another one. Like rhyming or something, or alliteration. That's like the joke. Shit, there are other ones too. But not many. You see what I mean? I'm struggling when I sit. I've watched BoJack a few times over. Like, I've watched it more than twice. And yet, despite that, I can't really list off any of the jokes that I know. Because I barely do. I know all the jokes from The Simpsons, though. I can tell you, like, a billion Simpsons jokes that are just burned into my memory. BoJack, not so much. Even though I've rewatched a lot more BoJack recently than I have The Simpsons. Friggin', do you watch Philly D? You mean Philip DeFranco? Not really. Is it that he learns and forgets lessons several times? I don't know that I even have a problem with that strictly. One of the things that's frustrating is that you know that BoJack's just going to do something really stupid that will lead to a dramatic payoff. Like the big one being when BoJack, he did like an interview that was dealing with like his past in terms of like sexual, you know, deviancy, I guess, and he did an interview and it went really well and it was done. And then he's like, you know what? I think that went great. Like, I want to do another interview. I'm trying to do the BoJack voice, but it's not working at this at this moment. And it's like, yep. And then you're gonna screw it up and you're gonna say something stupid that destroys your whole career. And it's really annoying because it's transparently obvious what's gonna happen and it's not in character. It's on plot. The plot needs him to screw up in this way. Why would anyone watch that clown? What, Philip DeFranco? I mean, I just don't find what he does to be especially valuable. It's like journalism, but not. In that he doesn't really, from what I understand, he doesn't really go looking for stories, nor does he report them with any additional insight that is, like, especially valuable. He's a commentator, not really a journalist. Maybe he doesn't call himself a journalist, though. I don't know, that might just be me assuming that that's something he said. I think I think all you need is, like, the example of what's wrong with BoJack is Season 3, Episode 11 ends with what is, up to that point, and probably throughout the whole show, like, the most significant moment in the series, definitely the darkest. And then the next episode opens with an absurd plot where a bunch of spaghetti is going to fall on top of an underwater city, and they need somebody who has created a massive ride-sharing company that's stupid and also owns 1 million spaghetti strainers to go solve the problem. And it just so happens that Todd, throughout the season, has been acquiring these random bullshit items. Like, this is just shit writing. I don't know what else to call it other than just crappy writing. And it's also really annoying when it follows what is, like, the most important scene in the whole show. That's when everybody was doing BetterHelp. Oh, yeah, right, because he did BetterHelp, didn't he? I find it a little concerning how many people have sort of gotten off the hook with these, advertising for these ethically dubious companies. Like, there wasn't really as much pushback as I would hope for. Now, I'm not super familiar with BetterHelp, but from what I remember, it was, like, pretty bad, in terms of what the issue was with that platform. I remember there was Candid, where a bunch of purportedly sort of free speech, pro-free speech channels were promoting Candid, which was a company that was using that service to develop an algorithm that they wanted to sell to Google that would make it easier for them to delete content, like, from their platforms. That was the purpose of that. Blinkist? Well, the problem with Blinkist is I just disagree with the idea of Blinkist. Like, Blinkist isn't unethical. At least I don't think that they're unethical. I imagine that they pay for stuff related to the books that they put up. Like, Blinkist is just a product that I don't respect, which is a little different from something like Candid, which I found to be kind of, like, very concerning. With BoJack, the only joke I remember is a kaleidoscope. I'm not 5 shapes and colors, the likes of which I've never seen. That's the only joke I remember and liked. It's lowbrow and arguably not funny, but I enjoyed it. One joke I liked in BoJack was when they were on the set for the show Dilbert that he was doing. Not Dilbert, Filbert. Dilbert is a comic, Filbert. It was called Filbert, yeah. They were on the set of a show called Filbert, which, for whatever reason, looked exactly like BoJack's house. That was really stupid. But anyway, he was drinking something and he was about to... He threw it off the cliff, but it wasn't a cliff, it was a wall, so it just splashed against the wall. I remember finding that kind of funny. That was like the first laugh I'd had in, like, fucking 3 seasons, I'm pretty sure by that point. After the BetterHelp stuff, he came out, said he was looking into it and he was going to go to their headquarters, and he never talked about it again because their headquarters didn't exist. Ooh. So, I don't know, the reality is with, like, paid sponsorships and stuff, it's just a matter of due diligence. Like, I'm not even really opposed to the idea of... I'm not, actually. Like, I'm not opposed to the idea of ads. Of course I'm not. People, you know, ads serve a purpose. People can take ads. But... remember, you gotta remember ultimately what's happening here. Like, what is the company paying for? They're paying for you to say that it's good. It's you saying that it's good that is what they are looking for. Because they know that people trust you. And so, if people are trusting you, it's just a matter of due diligence. Like, if there was some really secret stuff that you couldn't have just found from a Google search that eventually came out, like, I don't know, you promoted a company and found out they were doing, like, massive fraud that was just completely concealed and nobody knew about it, like, it wasn't readily viewable, that's one thing. Like, I wouldn't really fault somebody for that. Due diligence just means doing, as, you know, the research that is necessary for a reasonable person to, like, come to a conclusion. There's a difference between that and, like, Candid promoting it as a free speech app because that's what the script says, when a Google search will tell you that it's not. I have mixed feelings about people doing Raid Shadow Legends because it's pretty meta that it's garbage. I disagree. It doesn't matter whether you say, oh, it's a meme that it sucks, because that game still makes enough money that they can pay people to promote Raid Shadow Legends, so it's clearly working. A lot of people fell for BetterHelp. It was apparently at least somewhat of a well-constructed scam. Well, why don't you, if anybody here is familiar with it, what was BetterHelp specifically? What was the service it provided? I know it was related to psychology, but what was it specifically? Online therapy? Man, I don't know about that. That feels like... I don't know that it's a good idea inherently at this point. Like, on a fundamental level, that it's a good idea as a content creator who is not a psychologist to advertise in exchange for money, a service that offers therapy. That feels like something that I would not want to do ever. That doesn't, yeah, I don't, what, like, if I got paid for that, what does my endorsement of their services mean? I don't know anything about that field. Thanks for subscribing. This is a 3-month message. Yeah, for 3 months. Thanks, dude. Online therapy where they didn't check if you're actually qualified to do therapy. The TOS claimed they weren't responsible for the qualifications of their therapists. Oh, well, dude, this all sounds worse and worse every time I hear about it. Like, if you... Yeah, That just... Even if it wasn't like a complete scam, just feels like dangerous to take money to advertise something like that. Phil said he used them. I don't see how that means anything. I don't see how that means anything unless you're a psychologist and you know what psychologists are meant to do for therapy sessions. And also, if you're not, like, depressed, you know, like, or have anxiety or any other number of mental illnesses. I feel like Audible is the most ethical product to shill. Yeah, like, for instance... The problem is, like, I've never been offered, so I don't know what I would actually say, but, like, I've been an Audible subscriber for, like, 6 years at this point, and I've never cancelled my subscription, and I have, like, dozens and dozens of audiobooks. Like, Audible is a service that I like. It's a service that I really like. It's a service that I would recommend for free. So if I got paid to recommend a service that I already like, you know what I mean? Like, what would be the harm in doing that? I guess the problem is that for me, it's always, like, a matter of balancing priorities. Oh, I guess, right, like as somebody mentioned, Audible is part of Amazon, so there's that as an element. Like, do you have to sign a non-disclosure agreement where you can't criticize Amazon? Because if so, then I don't know if I'd like that at all. I think that's the problem as well, is like, I feel like a non-disclosure agreement is kind of like the thing that makes it really tough, to accept it. If that's a component. I've never been offered, so... Or maybe I haven't, I just don't check my emails enough. Damn it. For me, a lot of my, hesitation is just derived from I don't like having ads in my stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that kind of thing. Like if before my Crash video started, how would you feel if it's like, but first, before we talk about Crash Bandicoot 4, I'd like to tell you about Blinkist. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't like that as a thing. Like, I don't like the idea of having an advertisement permanently affixed to a piece of content that I've made. Especially when the goal with the creation of this content is to have something that stands the test of time. At least to a reasonable degree, right? It's the reason why I don't like putting little in-credit things, you know, like, oh, well, this is what I've got going on, advertising this specific thing. It feels weird because, like, in a year's time, it's just totally, you know, like, it's just this, it's this aspect that is completely aged while the rest of the content hasn't. Any audiobooks you recommend? I really like these, it's called the Bobiverse, like Bob the name Bob, Bobiverse. The first book is We Are Legion, We Are Bob. I remember really enjoying that series. I haven't finished the latest book, but I listened to that on Audible. It was Ray Porter was the narrator, and he played, Darkseid, which is not... I'm just saying that because that might be what people would recognize, but he's a pretty great narrator. I really like that series. I listened to the audiobook for Sapiens. That was how I listened to that. That's how I, you know, consumed that book, was through an audiobook. Dune has a great audiobook. I wouldn't know, I haven't heard it. His voice acting didn't seem bad. Oh, it's just because I don't like that movie at all. But his voice acting was totally fine. What else? The problem is, Yahtzee's books. I've listened to most of them on Audible. And he narrates them, so that's neat. Those are pretty fun. Curious if a new one's come out. It's been a while since the last one. Yahtzee's books are great. Yeah, I think they're pretty good. A lot of fun. And really great delivery on the audiobooks. Because it's him doing them. I really like the science fiction one, We'll Save the Galaxy for Food. I found that one to be really fun. Finding it really hard to read again. Definitely Morpheus is still one of my favorites. I remember liking it, but I don't remember as much about what happened in that story as the other ones. I don't know why. Find it hard to read, just use your eyes. Damn it. Ah, and a tank spawned right there. Damn it. Do we have a tank? No, we don't. Uh-oh. Damn it. I screwed that up and I feel bad. You missed the rockets? Oh. Ah. Damn. The only audiobook I own is Shad's book, Shadow of the Conqueror. That's because I've heard great things about the voice actors from a number of people. I have that as well, but I haven't listened to it yet. Audiobooks are what getting me through college. I find it difficult to comprehend when I read versus when I listen to it. I guess the only problem for me is, like, it's you read a lot quicker than you listen. So, like, in terms of just time constraints. But, of course, you know, if fucking, this game spawns. I don't... It's really simple. I should not be seeing other people spawn. That's the idea behind... That's what a good spawn system is. One where I don't see the other team spawn. Fringy, could you do some research on the backyard games before you talk about them again? I don't know, what is that? Is that like a meme or something? Because I have no idea what that is. I have trouble focusing when I listen to audiobooks, which is weird because I have no issue reading books or listening to podcasts. For some reason, audiobooks don't work for me. Yeah, I think it's, yeah, it varies. Like, sometimes I like listening to audiobooks, sometimes I like reading. The kids show, right. Oh, was that like the... Oh, the Backyardigans, right. Yeah, I didn't know anything about it. I only know about Teletubbies, I didn't know about it. Audiobooks work for me since I'm anxious just sitting down. Feel like I should be helping around the house, plus my eyes hurt after a little while. Right. What do you think of All-Star Superman? I haven't read it. I still have it. I got it sitting over there, but I haven't read it yet. They both have their value. That would be just the main gist of, you know, what it is about audiobooks versus, like, regular books. I never know how to hold a book comfortably and still be able to read efficiently. Yeah, that's honestly always been a problem for me. That's why I like reading on my iPad. You don't have to deal with that. I've always found it really difficult, for some reason, to just manage holding books. Feels like there are a lot of postures that are just exempt or really awkward. And of course, just having a library of 100 books on one device. Nice and handy. You own an Apple product? It's the only one I own, it's the first one I ever bought. So, yeah. I am not familiar with the Apple ecosystem at all. But it's really good for drawing on. Damn it. I was killed by my own teammate there. Damn. I lost the Spartan laser. Apple likes to sell you the same thing every year. Oh, not about that. I just mean I'm not very familiar with the ecosystem. But I mean, you know, if you buy one product and then you don't buy one for like another 5 years, then I guess you're getting good value out of that. I've had my Galaxy S9 for a while. I don't plan on getting rid of it anytime soon. It's cheaper that way. Especially now when, like, phone contracts at this stage cost, like, in Australia, it's difficult to find one that is less than $100 a month. Got him. S9 isn't that old. No, it's not that old. I can't stand reading books on Kindles and tablets. I know it saves space, but the authentic feel of paper is irreplaceable for me. Yeah, I totally get that. I mean, I still own physical books. I just find that it's more expensive and harder to manage. Like, I got a bunch of books sitting on the shelf, but they're not around with me all the time. I do like to own physical copies of certain books, like I bought a physical set of Lord of the Rings. I've got 2 physical sets of Lord of the Rings, actually. Physical set of Dune, which I need to read. Wolf keeps recommending it, though he says it's like one of his favorite things ever, so I need to read that as well at some point. Thanks. That's convenient. A Metro 2033, which I had as an audiobook, but I wanted it physically because I liked it so much. Oh, whoops. You ever played a game on Nintendo 69? That clip of like an NES, that dude. As soon as I saw the number, I'm like, it's gonna be one of those jokes, huh? Oh, I thought it said Jordan Peterson, not Octavius Preston. Come on, I want to... Oh. I don't get how drivers consume audiobooks. I'd crash. I don't know why I don't see how you can't listen and drive at the same time. Audiobooks have gotten me through many a long trip. In fact, that's like the perfect place I find to consume them. Otherwise I find it a lot harder. Like, there are a lot of other environments where I don't think it works quite so well. Oh, God. I can't hit him. There you go. Good job. It's called a team effort right here. I need to pick my targets, I reckon. Oh my god. Up! Up! Ah. Damn it. Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie. Thoughts? I think that's a fair choice. I'm not sure yet if I think Homecoming is better or worse, though. Thoughts on all the Die Hard films? 1, mwah, amazing, beautiful, I love it. 2, pretty good. I still enjoy it a lot. 3, I really like 3. It's my second favorite one. 4, I remember it just being fine. 5, I'm on vacation. I remember that just being the joke that they kept doing over and over and over again. Even though I'm pretty sure he wasn't on vacation. What's your thoughts on the 3-episode rule in TV shows? I don't know what that is. What is that? Oh, wow. Oh no, a wild Mugely appears. Have you guys finished watching that show? You and Metal and the gang around. He's been here for a while. Oh, I didn't even notice. They've seen 2 episodes now. Oh wow, they're ahead of me. Damn. You watch about 1 hour of a show before deciding to continue or drop it. Yeah, you know what? That sometimes bears true, but sometimes circumstances just, you know, conspire against you, and then you end up watching the whole thing. What show is this? Oh, well, Muller showed me a show that's called Awake. And I watched the first episode and I was really impressed. I thought that was a really cool pilot. I'm curious to see how the show progresses from there, because it was like network television, you know, standard stuff, so you wonder about that. But it was a cool, it was a cool little pilot. Super interesting in terms of its concept. Hongus? Yeah, sure, let me get you in here.
Blitzkrieg.
Oh god, my Discord's going all floopy right now.
My goodness.
It took a little bit before it connected me.
Yeah, my Discord's gone super floompus, I can barely... Oh. Nope, it's still floomped.
Stop flooping it.
Oh, it's unfloomped itself. Excellent.
Yay!
Oh, good.
It's because I blitzkrieged it.
That's
Is
what sounds good.
Hongus code for something?
Well, at this point we need like a translator to translate is it the Tism language, the Floomp language? I'm not sure what it's called.
Tism definitely was the first of the words, so...
Yeah.
I feel like it's, yeah, the language Tism, so there's like Floomps, Hangus, Hangaroony,
Womp.
Womp. Yeah, that's
Womp.
another one. Yeah.
You throw Wombo in there a bit.
Wombo is definitely part of it. Wombo speak is what I label it, yeah. Can you put the icons on the screen? Hey, look, Destiny doesn't do it. If he doesn't do it, why can't I also not do it?
Wow. Okay.
That's reasoning, I guess.
It's impeccable reasoning is what that is.
Oh, I got a new picture on my Isaac profile. I got a Crossenheimer now. I had Stanky Mom before.
Hey.
Probably because I beat Dogma.
This is your daily reminder to watch Invincible, a 7 out of 10 show. I don't think I'm ever going to watch it. I don't think you want us to watch that show.
I like the next one is next one is 7 out of 10 lol.
Yeah.
I have like no concept if it's any good or not.
I
all over the place.
honestly,
I'm everything.
I'm expecting it to be not even good at all. Like that's I'm not
Hey chat, do you reckon it's a conspiracy? Maybe Fringy already watched it, and he's just trying to give you reasons for why he doesn't want to see it, because he thought it was terrible.
Got him.
See, they're all scared now.
Yeah.
You got nothing. Tell Waller to play Witcher 3 and has Charles dance in it. You already knew that though, didn't you?
I did already know that.
Yeah. CJ liked it. A lot of people liked it, but that's... I don't know. Like, that's not...
Hey, look, okay? If they are gonna cite stuff like that, then we'll have to do, well, CJ likes Dives Out. But,
Well, just anybody likes some bad stuff. Like, I don't know what... You know, I don't know what I'm meant to do with that.
it doesn't help anything, right?
No, everything I like is awesome.
You know, Rags likes the Barbie movies, so...
And if you're like, well, Southpaw liked The Boys Season 2. Like, that was gonna be my immediate... Well, or at least he liked it up until a point, right? A lot of people liked A Quiet Place. A lot of people, yeah.
Stazel.
Yeah, no, you know, nothing can be trusted simply by a person's liking of it, right? That's,
No, liking it
Sometimes
is
you
not
just-
what we're
you just-
talking about in this weird place.
I do. Wow, I should just immediately stop playing Isaac. I got hit twice in the first 20 seconds. of
You like
starting.
Far From Home. Yeah, no, I have the... Yeah, but I like it. I've also acknowledged that it's flawed. Like, deeply flawed in a lot of ways. I guess that's a clarification. It's not just that people like these things. They said that they were really good. That's like the meaningful distinction.
I like Coom.
Seems pretty
Sorry,
cool.
I had to
That's why we can't trust him.
Had to bring it down like a little bit.
kill.
I'm sorry.
Debate your
I think
entire
80% if I join your call when you're streaming, you're on this map for some reason.
on Sandtrap. Yeah, I think
Yeah, I don't know
that's
why.
true. I think that's actually true now that you pointed that out to me. Pretty sure you're right. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, all right. Let's go. Let's go. Go. Kill him. There we go. Oh, and that I just got a job, Fringy. I love you. Oh, congrats. That's awesome. Oh,
Congrats on loving Free.
No,
oh, whoops, sorry, buddy. Oh, nope. Alright. Damn it.
Spider butt. Well.
Dude, right there. Uh-oh. Come on, buddy.
Come on.
Crap. Nearly killed that guy. Halo no
Just White
DST.
told me objectivity is based on how many people like it. Oh, boy.
Such a
True.
bad take. I feel like this railgun, like, yeah, like this railgun Warthog is insanely powerful. It's so strong. Like, it kills anything you shoot at, and it has, like, no delay. It fires faster than a tank. Oh, and then we died.
I was just praising it. Damn it.
Another season of Another Life or another season of BoJack, which would be worse? Well, I'd rather have... Another Life is really funny. So, like, I feel like I'd rather... Whereas BoJack is pretty painful. I guess the problem is it's like a season of BoJack, but it was good. I'd want that. But if it was like, oh, but it's the same general structure and team behind it.
I swear to you, if I play this game offline, I get the craziest items. I just got the fucking R key offline, which means you can reset your run while keeping your items.
Oh boy. Wow.
How do you unlock the R key? I think I want that.
That's just in your pool. I don't remember them unlocking it.
I've never had it.
That's
You
the
must be
second
lying
time.
to me.
That's the second time I got it.
You always have the best luck when nobody's watching.
Yeah. I mean, today I was also playing shitty on stream. To be
Ah,
honest.
crap. Well,
'Cause I got
this fight's
some
over.
alright.
Yep, there I'm dead. Go ahead.
I had some alright items, but I was also playing really shittily. But the R key is pretty rare to get.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, metal, sure, metal. Hey, I've one run online already. I can be trusted.
Come on, get driving,
Sometimes.
buddy. Here we go. Now I get to shoot.
No boy.
Is shittily a word? Probably not. Not every word has to be a word.
If I say it, it is a real word. I can speak 2 languages. This means I'm superior with words.
You are
That's
the
how it
superior
works, right?
word man. Yes, you know
Yeah.
more words than I do. I mean, you definitely do. Oh, thanks for resubscribing. Poor Metal always blaming luck for his tisms. Well, I mean, it's Binding of Isaac. There is luck as a factor, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean the items, yeah. But I
Yeah.
also said on stream that I've been playing shit, so it's not even true.
Dude, oh my.
I'm offended and I demand compensation.
Retribution. Oh wait, no, compensation. Yeah, that's softer. It's not as scary a word.
I demand retribution.
Oh.
Oh no.
Yeah, don't honk. I can't hit him. There you go. Oh, we win. Awesome.
Woohoo!
Means I can just go down.
Didn't Germany pay
Every-
off their World War I debt not too long ago? Oh, really? Huh.
I
God,
don't know. I didn't pay it.
Well,
Yeah,
the
you
government
did.
would have paid it.
Taxes.
So you would have paid it, yeah. I didn't know that was still a thing. I guess that makes sense though. They paid it off in 2010. Wow, so it took nearly 100 years to pay off that debt. That was a bullshit debt. Like, if we're all being honest about it, that was a really shitty thing to do to Germany. Especially when nobody actually won. Like, it was a draw. How much for World War II? I don't know what the
350.
situation was for World 350? 350.
350.
350.
350 million?
No, just
No, just-
$350.
Just 350. Pretty much.
£3.50. Why would it be in pounds?
I didn't say anything about pound.
Don't understand you, Metal. Your sources, they're all over the place.
My sauce is all over the place. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh
Get a
man.
napkin.
I think I need like a broom.
A broom?
Yeah, just to make it more thin over the floor, make it gross and slippery. Spread it all over the place.
Talking about luck, Mel.
I have a host hat.
You know the mum's purse item? Got that after killing a boss.
Mm-hmm.
Dropped 4 pills. 2 of them were health down.
Yay!
That's just like, you just hate me then, I guess.
Yeah.
How the Desert Rose knife works, does that mean Mary can't die for being stabbed because she's got Desert Rose no blood? I don't
think
know.
I think the idea was when it's right on there that I guess the
Well, yeah, in the episode we
wound gets
watched,
healed immediately or something.
that was the idea.
Even though you can get put in a coma with it, I guess it was. Well, it's almost like that shit makes no sense.
Is this a
What?
spoiler? Is this because we're only up to episode 11, and I think they
Yeah,
have
it's
just
spoiling it.
Wait,
and we're up to,
Racism.
and I think the show is about to end. Like, I'm pretty sure the next episode that comes out is going to be the last one for the season.
what do you mean spoiler? That happened already. Someone got stabbed by
Oh,
this.
yeah, but I guess maybe it's something related to Mary. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, I guess it foundation of the question was because she has it in her blood.
Yeah, I
That's how I
figured that was
understood
what
it.
it meant too. I just wasn't sure if there was a reason why that particular question was asked. Maybe a plot.
Oh, okay.
Episode 11, Watch
Yeah,
Her,
man.
Batwoman, Season 2. We are only up to episode 11 in terms of our watch through. And it was
Distracted watching
painful.
The Hunt.
Yes, that's
Aw.
right. Not the good one, the bad one. Well, the confusing one.
Yeah,
I
the bad
call it
one.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's just confusing is more like what I find to be an issue with it. Since Kate's back, is Ryan gonna get killed or phased out? Is that a spoiler? Like, we know that Kate's back in it, but I would imagine that that would look really bad optically for them to push out Ryan in favor of Kate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would look awful for like that particular crowd. So I don't think so.
Guaranteed, the new Kate isn't going to be anywhere near as stiff as Ruby Rose, and that's going to upset me so much.
Well, no, she'll probably be
Just-
better at acting.
She might be a good actress.
Yeah.
That'd be horrible. Because like, there is no fucking point in having good actors if your script is just abysmal.
Sorry for the repost, but tell Moodle I like his haircut.
Don't read it. Don't.
Oh, okay.
I already saw it, and it's just the 4-ball Cliff meme.
Um, But in relation to Batwoman, I remember I think like I wouldn't be surprised if it's gonna be that there's like a team, so there'll be 2 Batwomen, and then like and then the Batwing thing that they're doing now, like I'm guessing that it's gonna be a whole team of people who are fighting.
Whole team of worthless superheroes.
Well, you mean like making their own sort of Infinity
team.
Prisms team up? Yeah.
Well, from what I understand, like a lot of the Arrowverse shows just like having teams of superheroes. They always like having more than one. So like in like that Flash show, it's not just Flash, there's someone else. And in Supergirl, it's not just Supergirl, there's other people. So it seems like that might be what they're gonna do, have multiple like Bat people who are on this team.
Wait.
What a sentence. Multiple bad people on a team. I like
Well,
it.
I guess the thing is, it's kind of lame, because, like, I'd be okay with if you had, like, a Bat Family show, where it's, like, the family working together, but you gotta do a little bit more than that. Like, have each person have something that's actually unique that they bring to the table. You know, Nightwing.
Or have a real relationship.
Well, that would be a good place to start, yeah.
Uh-huh.
We are the Flash is a common quote from Flash. Ugh. But you're not we. There's one Flash, and it's the Flash.
Pretty sure just one.
Yeah. People of bats. It's that way in all the CW shows, right? Yeah, that would be my guess. They want Kate back, but they can't push Ryan out, so now it'll be all of them. I guess my concern is, like, Alice has got to go, but she won't ever go. and it gets me worried about what that means for just because I'm gonna tell you, like, Alice isn't funny any. Well, she hasn't been like. It hasn't been amusing for a while. It's just getting really boring. Just want her to die, but she never will.
I have Dr. Fetus with host head.
Pretty good.
This sucks.
I
Yeah.
override Azazel's laser beam though. That's interesting.
I don't want to deliver them that. Oh, and now they've got the... Yeah. Question for the table. Favorite Souls game? Favorite Soulsborne? I'm going to expand your question. Alright, what's...
Dark Souls 1.
Dark Souls 1.
Okay. I haven't played enough of them to express a perspective. Thanks for subscribing, dude. Much appreciated. I like Rayek's theory that they're scared of the actress. So, I don't know how I dived down this rabbit hole, but I saw a video that got recommended on my feed that was something along the lines of, an actress in the show The Vampire Diaries, who, the accusation was that the team behind that show was like, just had some sort of grudge against that actress, and a lot of people, I think, immediately jumped to the conclusion that it was racially related because she was the only black person on that show. And I watched that, and I saw that the people who made that show are the same people who make Batwoman, so, like, I wonder if you were to assume that the claim was true, and that this particular actress was, just did not have as good of a time on that show, specifically because, you know, of her race. Like, and if that's known, I wonder how it must feel for the creator of the show, now that the main character on this show is a black woman. Like, if there is an element of, oh, well, we can't push her out because it'll make us look super racist, and that's already out there, a thing that apparently we might be. You know what I'm like? I just find it amusing because, like, I don't even know if it's true or not. Though admittedly, those interviews were really awkward. It seemed like basically everybody on that show, including the people who were responsible for making the show, just didn't like her. And that was quite the rabbit hole. One of the things that I saw in that was talking about how, this actress, like, her hair is obviously not straight because it's not a lot of black people who have straight hair. In fact, it's basically none of them. Or at least I've never met one. You know, like, there's different types. Some people have, like, loose curls, and some people have, like, incredibly tight curls. Like, most men have that, but some women do too. And she was talking about how she was never allowed to have her hair be, like, normal on that show. It always had to be straightened, or you always had to wear these crappy wigs. And then I think she said something along the lines of, it'd be nice to play a character who I actually look like. And I just sat there and I'm like, oh, that actually is like, oh, that hurts. Like, that actually really hurts on like, my behalf to you. Which is, I guess that's like the interesting discussion that it feels like, nobody really wants to talk about, right? Of like, well, there are elements in, like, media of kind of almost downplaying aspects of like naturally occurring sort of features on people with African descent that are just either downplayed or muted. That one being one of them, that you don't see a lot of characters who have, like, their hair just being completely natural. It's either loose, like it's straightened, or it's like presented in a way that's more broadly socially acceptable. And I think it's like, I wonder how you would, like, solve that problem of just people unknowingly, but just naturally expressing a preference that is not natural, or not like, you know, not a look that is achieved with great additional effort that other people don't have to put in, by virtue of race, but not explicitly. That's an interesting thought, but yeah, I'm not sure that I'm qualified to talk about that particular topic. Just seems like it's complicated sociology stuff. Are you finally happy then, Fring, that you have a Batwoman you can relate to? Well, I mean, this has always been like the fundamental point, right? It's just the idea of relatability being tethered to what somebody looks like. It's just something I don't relate to. I don't think I've ever been in a position where I could, because there aren't really many people who... Well, it's twofold. One, like, race should not be an important aspect of your identity, or at least I don't think it should be. It certainly shouldn't be, like, the first thing that you're paying attention to or noticing. But also, it's just like, there are not a lot of, like, African Australians. Like, that's just not, it's really not common, and it's certainly not common in media. So, like, there's not really much of an opportunity or even a likelihood that you would ever see that. Aboriginals aren't African. What the why would you be asking about Aboriginals? Aboriginal is its own thing. Remarkable Republican would say that. Are you aware of the movie In the Heights? Yeah, it's like a musical, right? Or a musical. It was a musical and now it's a movie, isn't it? Depends on how far you go back. Well, if you're going that far back, then everybody is African. Like, it's not meaningful as a distinction in the world that we live in now. Re-release. The new Kate in the final shot. Kate Gate, last time I promise. Oh, I don't get the joke.
I'm assuming it's because she got rubbed out of the like little Justice League photo.
Ah.
A weird choice to make when they're bringing the character back. You just need to narratively have her show up as the new Kate, don't you? And then they take another image or something and you just update it? I don't know.
I guess. Unless, I don't know. Aboriginals, migrated to Australia from Asia thousands of years ago. Yeah, so from what I understand, the general history is that around 50,000 years ago, when the... No, I'm pretty sure there was still an ocean there at that time, but yeah, Aboriginals sailed over from, like, Indonesia and from, like, Southeast Asia and then went to Australia and just stayed there, for, like, 50,000 years, so, like, what's that?
Oh, I said, wow, it's winning out, you know?
What? Well, I mean, they kind of... Because when they got here, that was when the megafauna and stuff was still around, so, like, giant kangaroos and stuff, but it was the same thing that happened... Oh my god. It was the same thing that happened when, Aboriginals and Africans look distinctly different. Yeah, it's because it's different races, different features, different lineage. Like, I mean, is that like surprising? It's not like, it's not just a matter of like skin tone, because there are lots of different sort of like brown people in the world, but there's a difference between like if you're from the Middle East or if you're from India, or if you're from, like, if you're, like, indigenous to the Americas.
Martian.
Well, no, Martians are green. We learned that in the smash hit, Zack Snyder's Justice League.
I don't trust that fucker's perspective on it.
I just learned that Aboriginals were around Australia way before people from Africa migrated out. I'm pretty sure that's not true, but I'm pretty sure that's like just categorically not true. But
Well, when did the Germans invade Australia?
Yesterday.
Oh. Bit harsh.
Yeah, but I brought beer, so it's fine.
if I saw 8-foot tall kangaroos and giant spiders, I'm turning around and going back.
No, I'd be
well-
like, think of the loot in this area.
Well, that's exactly what they were thinking of. Was think of the loot. It's the same as when people finally went to America, and then there were a bunch of like really massive creatures that were hunted
Bear
completely to
eagles.
extinction. Bear eagles, that's right. Bears with wings that flew around and grabbed giant mammoths. And plus, it's like
They would,
playing.
like-
They wanted to play on hard mode. It's like the Dark Souls of humanity coming to Earth, coming to Australia, and fighting. The Dutch turned around and went back. Yeah, and that was after Aboriginals had already killed all the massive, crazy animals. So the Chad Aboriginals versus the Virgin Dutch. I think
Oh, you
they're all-
probably got some Dutch blood in you. You upset?
No.
I mean, I might have some as well. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's always hard to figure out. Like, if you went further and further back. Fringy's not green, but black. What? Oh, well, I mean, green is that's the real important part, right? Because that's the identity you choose for yourself, or something. I don't. I don't
Like,
know.
I'm long, you're green, metal, stupid. That's like the things that we sort of chose for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, what?
It doesn't matter who's behind the mask. All that matters is the mask itself.
Not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me, right? That's the one.
Uh,
A bit of an obvious question, but have you seen the kangaroo get punched in the face for holding a dog? No, I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen that? Man, I've seen that a bunch of times.
Maybe
It's one of
I
those
have.
moments of man is dog's best friend. In a way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that kangaroo, he's just, doing his little thing.
He was not doing his thing in that clip.
Oh, God. All right.
Or rather, his thing was unacceptable.
Right. His thing was unacceptable. How do you fit your bird beak in that astronaut helmet, or is that a shelf piece? I still haven't figured out exactly what I want the lore to be for that. I'm working on it. I'm pretty sure that I want the astronaut to be just like a totally separate character. In fact, I'm confident that that's like what it is. When will Fringy play Halo 5 multiplayer for the memes? Well, I don't have Xbox Live anymore, and I don't want to pay for Xbox Live. So, like, there's probably never going to be Halo 5 again unless they port it to PC. And I'm not sure, like, what memes you'd get out of it, because I find that game to be pretty fun. So, it would just be unironic entertainment. Unless I had to play the campaign. Which do you prefer?
we're not allowed to have fun.
No, we're not allowed to have fun. There's no fun allowed. Not here. I fear no man, but that thing, a giant kangaroo holding a tank gun, it scares me.
That's fair.
I'd be pretty scared if I saw a giant 8-foot tall kangaroo holding a tank gun at me.
The tank too.
The tank as well, yeah, he's holding the tank and the gun. Isn't the game available in Game Pass? Maybe on Xbox, but Halo 5 just isn't on PC. It's the only one that isn't now, which is weird.
That is weird.
Because Halo 4's on this as well, but Halo 5 and Reach, which wasn't before, but no Halo 5. I'm not sure why they didn't. Like, if it was weird that there's just one, because it's just one. Every other Halo game is on PC except 5, and Halo Infinite's going to be on PC, so.
It's just like you're not getting 5. Like why? I don't feel like it. Just get over it. Okay.
There's Forge, Halo 5 Forge. Yeah, I know, but I'm not even really sure how you access that. I'm guessing it might just be on the Xbox little app for Windows 10. Though I heard Windows 11 is a thing that's been like leaked.
Yeah, apparently so, yeah.
Which I guess makes sense. It's been like 6 years since 10 came out.
Well, they also said they wouldn't do another Windows and
Yeah.
would just optimize on this one, and I was
So
like,
did I
no,
thought that.
lol.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of money in OSs, so.
Well, I mean, it's where Microsoft makes most of their money, is from, software. Like, hardware and Xbox and stuff account for negligible... Well, not negligible, it's something, but the vast majority of Microsoft's money comes from Office and, Windows. Which makes sense. I'm very much a Microsoft Office stan. I really like Microsoft Office. I like Word.
His name's Stan.
Stanley.
Stan!
Good charm.
Stan!
Oh,
What? Oh, it's
okay,
just...
so now I've... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, nah.
It
It sounds like you got something important to add.
Not really.
Oh,
It's
I
just
got
basic
nothing
stuff.
important. That's more
okay.
more important than what I'm doing.
I guess I'll talk. Hello.
Hey! I was just like, oh, now I'm immune to explosions and now also immune to burn, confusion, fear, poison, and toxic gas.
Wow, you're having a great time.
Yeah, of course, I'm not streaming. It's the best builds are offline.
Yeah, we're supposed to just believe all of that is happening.
I mean, I have to unlock to prove it, so get fucked, Mumblo.
See in chat. Do
Yeah,
you
can't
see?
just screenshot that from
Do you
online.
see?
I was
Look!
showed it on stream.
I feel
you
like
can
"Do you
just
see"
download
applies
video.
to this now. Like you playing Binding of Isaac. It's like I've just unlocked this item. Do you see? Do you see? It's like,
Witness me!
yes, I see. Look at the things I've got. Like, it's the I don't know. Like, I don't know the names of any. If I knew the names of the items, this would be a peak meme. But unfortunately, it's just gonna have to settle for a semi-peak meme.
Gold chub meme.
Is
More like
EFAP
a beak meme with you.
is
Get
EFAP
it?
going to be
'Cause-
covering? Oh, what's that? Oh, beak. Right. That's offensive, probably.
Good.
Are we going to be
I
covering
mean,
Black
sorry.
Widow? Yeah, we definitely will be.
Oh yes. Why would we skip Black Widow? You nuts?
Yeah.
That's like the first major boy, if we don't count TV shows, in a while.
Mm.
Probably should count TV shows at this point because they're all super high budget, you know,
Yeah.
and have all the actors in them.
I like-
99 cents.
I like Office, but before it became a subscription service. Yeah, I remember I was because I was kind of surprised by that because I'd gotten it through like university, and then I'd suddenly it's like, oh right, I need to pay for this now again, and I mean I'm okay with paying $99 a year for Office. Like I use Office so much that I'm okay with that. I guess it's just a matter of it would be nice if you could just buy it outright, but it's kind of the same with like Adobe, you know, the recurring payments. Except Adobe charges a lot more money than Microsoft does.
I use LibreOffice on my own PC.
Right.
Ebo?
LibreOffice.
Oh.
See, I've never heard of that. I'm just too used to the Microsoft ecosystem. That's the thing.
So OpenOffice kind of shit the bed at some point. It's got kind of weird, I don't know.
Adobe sounds Australian. I'm not sure why. Why it would sound Australian. I'm not even sure what it means.
Norby.
Adobe. Oh, right. I see why you think it's actually. Now that I've said it myself again and was really paying attention, it's all starting to line up.
And of course the shop is shit because I have 99 coins.
Is it weird that I never had a home computer when I was 13 that worked? What, like you didn't have one up until you were 13 that worked? It depends
They're
how
always
old you
broken?
are.
I'm 12, so wait.
Did you like how Lady Loki used the bombs that destroy timelines to create timelines?
Wait, what?
Well, yeah, she did, because the bombs she dropped, they don't create timelines, they destroy them.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. I was too distracted by everything else that was really
You
stupid.
definitely thought of that. There's no way. I'm sure we almost fucking talked about it before.
Oh,
I
we
even
might have.
suggested, and I definitely talked to Rags about it.
We might have then. It's just something that I'm not thinking about at the moment.
That was the big fluke. That was like the #1 fluke for a lot of people, was they didn't understand we'd established those bombs do the opposite of what they do in that payoff. So it's like, what?
Which do you guys prefer, Alien or Aliens? And also, what are your thoughts on the assembly cut of Alien 3? I prefer Aliens. I'm pretty sure it's the same for you guys.
I don't know about metal, but yes. But also, we have the minority perspective on that one.
What is it? I thought it was pretty common that people liked Aliens more than Alien.
I've come across much more people saying that Alien is just strictly better.
Huh.
Have we watched Aliens together? I know we watched Alien.
I think
So,
I remember
yeah, I would've
rewatching
said the
Aliens
reverse.
with you.
We watched
Mola.
Alien.
We definitely rewatched it at some point.
I've seen that film so many times,
Yeah.
I don't know who I've seen it with.
Game over, man. Game over. God, that movie's great. I mean, great is underselling it. That movie is excellent, but...
Hey Vasquez, you ever been mistaken for a man? Have you?
Have you?
Those were the
Fucking
simpler
great
times.
comeback.
It's the simpler times when you could just have...
Camaraderie. Yeah.
Well,
that
I
was-
think
that was
it's one of the things I always remember was when I was a kid, I watched so many movies from the 80s where it was just, you know, two mismatched partners paired up. And it was, you know, during the 80s, it was usually a white guy and a black guy, and they always came together in the end and were friends. And I feel like that was really, it was really great to see that kind of stuff when I was growing up, but it's just interesting
Yeah.
now, because it seems like the world that we live in, it's like, nah, see, it was really bad back then. It's like, man, I just watched all these movies where everything seemed nice and everybody was friends. I don't know.
You fool!
Maybe that
They were
was
friends,
foolish,
they
because I
were
mean,
racist.
the LA riots
Oh,
did happen in the
okay.
90s, so like maybe it wasn't as simple as I thought it was, but it was just a simpler time. Lethal Weapon, Rush Hour, 48 Hours. Oh, and just every Die Hard movie as well. Basically every single one from the 90s. I remember really enjoying the dynamic between John and Zeus. I think he was my favorite sidekick. Probably because he was the most like involved in the story. Uh-oh. And then they had their argument as well. I remember the big element of that movie was the idea of just like racism between these two. But more specifically that like Zeus was actually pretty prejudiced against John. Bring back the Cold War. Life was simpler then. Yeah, no, I'm kind of memeing like life wasn't simpler. I think that's like the big mistake everybody makes when they look back. People look back to 2020 from like 2040 and be like, yeah, things were simpler back then too. Meanwhile, we all think it's all complex. I think it's just I don't know that it's any less complex. It's just that we're more aware of what's going on. So it means we're just bombarded with information constantly. I'm not sure that humans are designed to. I keep saying design like humans weren't designed, but like humans aren't really equipped to deal with this much
Evolved to-
information.
Yeah.
We were designed to walk around in a field in the savannah and like hunt some animals and then just sit around for like 3 days and then go out and hunt some animals again.
I also think maybe when we look back, it's because nothing's concluded right now, nothing's in stone, but when we look back on timelines, we know what happened at the end.
Yeah, exactly. I think the real interesting one is because I mean, all of us sort of grew up in the late 90s, the early 2000s. Those are like the years we look back on probably most fondly. I mean, I do, but like the 2000s were not a good decade. The 2000s were actually a pretty shit decade by world standards. 9/11, two massive wars that went on for the whole decade. The entire financial system blew up. And then there were all of the issues that were stemming from those things too. Compared to that, the 2010s were like way more stable. yet I don't have particularly fond memories of the 2010s, and I'm probably going to have even less fond memories of the 2020s. And so it's like interesting though that despite that, I look back on the 2000s and everything feels really simple. But it wasn't at all, not even close.
Right, baby.
Ah! Stole my kill. The 90s gave us the grunge movement, which ruined music forever. The early 2000s also had inflatable furniture, and the entertainment in the 2000s was phenomenal. I think that might be the big element, was the late 90s and the 2000s were like a really great era for content. Video games were really hitting their stride. Not to say that there weren't like amazing games before that, but goddamn, like the sheer volume of amazing games that came out in the 2000s. We had great TV shows. Like it was when TV shows were starting to almost take themselves a bit more seriously and lean into the strengths of their format. A lot of great movies. Lot of great movies, especially animated movies. There are a lot of really good ones. Yeah, Toy Story, Shrek. We all meme on Shrek, but Shrek is a great movie. Like it really is. Great comedies. Oh yeah. And I guess it was the era before like the one where we're in now, where or at least before there was that crossover. I've known that people have commented on this, and there's probably a lot of truth to it, that the MCU has kind of like almost made it to where you don't get a lot of like high concept original science fiction stories anymore. Not in TV shows and movies anyway. Like it's not as common that you see high concept science fiction or fantasy that is like brand new in the realm of film. Because
Lord of the Rings opened the doors, while the MCU is kind of like, no, we're doing it, you don't have to.
yeah, I think the Lord of the Rings did open the doors, because there were a lot of fantasy stuff after Lord of the Rings. I remember, like, Aragorn, which I'm pretty sure isn't, like, a good movie at all, but I don't remember much about it. I remember there was that show Merlin, which I remember liking. Have you watched that?
I don't think so.
Oh,
No.
Giles is in it.
Yeah,
That's a good
Giles
reason.
plays, Uther, is it Uther Pendragon, or... his dad, he plays Arthur's dad. Batwoman is high concept. In a certain sense, yeah. Can we make the worst show ever? It's like, well, we'll give it our best shot.
Try our best.
Tenet? Oh, aside from, like, Christopher Nolan feels like the exception. He's big enough, and people are interested in watching Christopher Nolan movies, that he can do, like, original I know that that's something that people have talked about, just, like, directors. The focus on, like, directors is kind of, decreased almost in recent years. Like, it used to be that... I know that people have mentioned that the idea of, like, the movie star kind of doesn't exist as much anymore. Like, the identity of the star is attached more to the role that they played rather than who they are. With the exception of the actors who became, like, stars before this stuff was happening, right? Like, Brad... Well, yeah, like, Will Smith is a clear example. Will Smith, Tom Cruise, like, they're it's like, oh, we want to watch that Tom Cruise movie, or we want to watch that Will Smith movie, or we want to watch that Brad Pitt movie. Nobody really says... I guess you got The Rock. Yeah, you mentioned The Rock. He's probably, like... I'd say that he probably still has that status, but, like... People don't really say, let's go see the Chris Evans movie, even though everybody knows who Chris Evans is. Oh, guys, you don't need to name it. Like, I know who the actors are, but what I'm saying is, like, the average person is, like, very familiar with, like, oh, let's go see that Will Smith movie. People don't really say that anymore. I remember Anthony Mackie had a thing where he was talking about it. He's like, Anthony Mackie isn't, like, a movie star like Falcon is. Like, people know who Falcon is, and they want to watch, like, the Marvel movie with Falcon or Captain America. They don't really care whether or not I'm in it. Yeah, I feel like The Rock is probably one of the few ones who's cropped up in the last 15 years who retain that status, if we exclude people who were acting in the 90s. Because it's like, oh, Leonardo DiCaprio, right? It's like, yeah, I'd say he counts too, but he got started in the 90s. Or at least he got really successful in the 90s. Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, I think that you could say that he has that status as well, but I don't know that he has it in the same way that the other guys do. Like, Ryan Reynolds seems to always play Ryan Reynolds now. Like, he's almost become Deadpool, like, in who he is as a character now.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, it's basically just Deadpool. Or that Ryan Reynolds always plays, like, himself.
I don't know, man. I would have said Deadpool is just Ryan Reynolds.
Well, yeah, but the awkward part is it's been said that, like, Ryan Reynolds, like, that Deadpool kind of morphed into Ryan Reynolds in the comics, and then it went the other way around as well. It's confusing. Like, I'm pretty sure that it's been explicitly stated that, like, Deadpool has, on some level, been based on Ryan Reynolds before he played the role. Which is interesting to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Hugh Jackman, maybe he'd probably be. Then again, I feel like a lot of people tether him to Wolverine, which makes sense because he did it for so long. I guess it's the idea of, like, Tom Holland will go on to do a bunch of other movies, and he does a bunch of movies, but, like, people think about him first as Spider-Man a lot of the time. It's like, oh, he's Spider-Man. Same with Chris Evans, like, oh, he's Captain America. Robert Downey Jr., it's like, oh, he's Iron Man. And so, like, when they move on to do other things, a lot of the time you see the discourse on these films is related to the movies that they did before, and the role that they played for so long. And I guess I'm curious what happens for the people who start getting into the MCU now, who maybe aren't as well known, who didn't really have as much of a career before they joined the MCU, and then, you know, like, where it goes from there. Chris Hemsworth, I feel like that'd be another example as well. Like, he's more associated with Thor than almost with himself. I think
Well,
that's...
I kept saying, when we watched Extraction for EFAP movies, I kept saying, this is the movie with Thor.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though I very well know him as Chris Hemsworth, but I don't know, it's weird.
I don't, yeah, well, it's never really happened before, I don't think, with, like, just, you know, actors. An MCU movie can get you a film career. Yeah, but it's the idea of, if you get it, you're always going to be, like, attached to it in some way, because it's so big. Like, it would be hard to move past it.
There's more awareness of actors, writers, and directors as well, which is a shame why we've moved past the era of almost director's golden age, which will be called at different times for different people. But you know, like, if Tarantino doesn't make another movie and Spielberg is in his mid-70s now.
Yeah, he's getting there.
We got a couple
Ridley
people still
Scott
trucking along.
is getting there too. I mean, he's nearly 80, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ridley Scott, he's getting
It's
old.
probably better. He doesn't make any more movies. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Well, he's certainly hit or miss, and lately more misses than hits. The Martian was cool though.
But it's funny about the awareness of writers. When I finished watching The Hunt the first time around, the bad one,
Yeah.
said the writers included Damon Lindelof, and I was like, oh, now it all makes sense. Like, said it was shit.
What did
Like,
he do?
It was just David Lindelof's famous at this point for, like, being terrible. His name is tied to. Let me check. I think he did Lost, but, like, not the parts that people respect. Let's see who else. Oh, the reboot of Watchmen.
Oh god.
Oh, he's behind the Star Trek reboots as well.
Hopefully.
It does seem like there's more awareness of writers now, which is cool. It's just a shame that it's happening in an era where writing has taken a really bad turn.
Yeah.
World War Z. He wrote World War Z.
Oh god.
Oh, he wrote Prometheus.
Oh my man.
There's a reason why I know his name, to basically be like, well, rip.
RIP project. like Kasdan. Kasdan is the one who does all of the... He writes for other people's properties and doesn't do his own stuff ever, right? That's him. Like, he did the Mummy reboot, and he did that TV show that's based on Silence of the Lambs, right? What else has he done? He's only ever done unimpressive things, I know that much.
Well, he wrote Empire, right?
Oh, wait, sorry, I'm mixing them up. I'm mixing them up. No, it's someone else who wrote all those other things.
Maybe it's his son? I don't know.
Maybe. Or maybe it's just two people who have the same last name, that's possible.
I'm pretty sure he has a son who does writing. I'm not sure.
Clint Eastwood has made his fame pre-90s hard checkmate Green Toad.
Whoa, Toad? That's racist.
Yeah, that is. Frogs and toads are not the same. Colin Trevorrow. Wow, he's never really done anything that I particularly like.
Dude, Dominion's gonna be bad.
The guy who does Picard. Yeah, that's right. Oh, the guy jumped off. Hold on. Damn it. Come on, just give me a minute. And back. Sorry about that.
I will not forgive you.
Kurtzman. That's right. Yeah, Alex Kurtzman. That's the one.
Kurtzman's the one who ruined Track, right?
Yeah, he's the one I meant, not Kasdan. And like I said, his newest project is he's doing a Silence of the Lambs TV show. It's like, God, I just...
What I mean, man, like, when I was a kid, or at least up until my, like, mid-teens, I think, I never even really looked into who was writing. It was always directing that I cared about.
Mm-hmm.
And, I would have, I wouldn't have noticed, and so I'd gone into everything, like, completely neutral, but, if you had Kurtzman and Lindelof team up to make the next, if they were behind Black Widow, let's say, I'd be like, there's no fucking way, that movie's gonna be a complete disaster. It's just
Yeah.
Usually, did you have the angry fly before?
I don't think so, no. What did I do?
It's just a really angry fly that attacks people for you. I think the text just said it's really angry.
Did you see Not saying today that Minecraft is quote-unquote a little dead? Dude, that is uncanny coincidence, because I just watched a video that was talking about... Oh, what? That guy's shooting us. I watched a video, it was about Notch and like how after he sold Minecraft, he just had a really crappy time in life. Like he just got, because he was all of a sudden incredibly rich, and there was no project he could ever make that would be like Minecraft again in terms of just popularity.
No.
Yeah, that must be hard.
Yeah.
Also, he's hated by a lot of people, right?
Everybody,
But,
yeah, a
like,
lot of
politically?
people hate him for his political takes and stuff. Apparently, the people who worked on Minecraft, they all really hate him. I think what happened with him is like peak existential crisis. You were just some dude who all of a sudden created the best-selling game of all time, and you've now sold it and are a billionaire over the course of a couple of years. And it's like, you now have more money than you could ever want, but you'll never be able to make anything that is like Minecraft again. I don't know how I'd, like, continue living under those circumstances. That actually seems like, that's terrifying to me, honestly. Don't throw grenades at me because I got to the Scorpion before you.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And they scrubbed Notch from the game. Yeah, I heard about that. That like recently being like in the last couple of years, they remove Notch's name from the credits in Minecraft.
Damn, you should have popped that in the contract, huh?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think it was because of he had some edgy political takes or something.
Well, does he have, I'm assuming he would, like, 1% of all money made by Minecraft still goes to him or whatever?
No, he sold Mojang, so he sold his stake in the company. That was where he got his money from, was that he owned a huge chunk of Minecraft and then sold it, and then he, yeah, and then that was where he got it.
I don't know what the names for it is, but I thought they could still do that, where you sell all of your stakes, but you still have, like, a special...
You could, but that might have been something that Microsoft told him, no, like, this is the deal. Like, that may well have been what it was. Like, just sell all of your stake in the company and move on. Because he left the company, after he sold it. Because he didn't want anything to do with Minecraft anymore, I think. So that might be the explanation. He,
I think that makes some sense in terms of...
Well, he sold it
You would
because...
want full control or zero, not, like...
Well,
pieces.
from what I understand, he wasn't really involved in the active development of Minecraft for a long time before he sold it. And after he sold it, he kind of sold it because he hated being the creator of Minecraft. Everybody, like, harassed him all the time. It was bad for his mental health, and look at how it panned out. He lives in a massive $70 million mansion like Beverly Hills, and he has no friends because he's so rich.
I'll be friends with you, Notch.
Well, the problem is he could never know. He'd never know who just likes him for him. You know, it's really
Imagine someone was like, "No, it's because of the money, but I am willing to talk to you."
I know you're really bored, so come on.
He should do friend auditions.
Oh, I'll drive you, buddy. Getting Notch on EFAP. I'm not even sure what I could talk to about because I don't know that much about Minecraft.
I'm sure he doesn't want to talk about Minecraft.
Yeah, probably not. The thing that ruined his life, yeah.
You're like, this thing we have to talk about, Notch. We have to get out of the way. Roblox. What do you think of it? Like, What do you think about Steve being in Smash?
That would be pretty funny, actually.
Imagine he's just like super anti-Minecraft talking any way, shape, or form, but on that he has like a really complicated and passionate opinion about the moveset and like what it means for culture.
Well, it seems like he often like kind of shits on Minecraft, like what's happening right now.
Well, you know the whole "it's a little dead" thing. Is it still not like super popular?
It's incredibly
Just
popular.
comparatively?
It's incredibly popular. I don't know that it's
What he
ever gonna
said.
die.
When he says it's a little dead, is he being like bitter?
Well, maybe, yeah, I don't know. Because it's not dead at all. It's incredibly successful to this day. Like, it's one of the best-selling games ever, and it keeps selling like 20 million copies like every year.
Makes complete sense to me, and I don't see why it wouldn't.
I don't
be
see why it
popular
won't ever...
forever.
It absolutely will. It's like peak creation. Well, it's simplistic, yet incredibly complex. You can basically do whatever you want. It's
If VR became hyper cheap and, you know, everyone got it, and there was like a new game that was about creating things with more freedom than Minecraft and better graphics, called, you know, Constructor Bot or some shit.
Yeah.
And it was like, that could maybe take over, but
I think
don't see that happening
Minecraft
for
has a
long time.
simplistic charm to it, though. You know? Like, it... Just the little blocks and everything, and the pixel art style and everything. I
sure.
feel
What
like
I'm
that.
talking about is like the fucking Oasis thing, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Something that just makes it so that Minecraft can't compete.
I guess I wonder, because I feel like Minecraft would just be that thing, like, but in VR, you know?
They'd want to get in on it.
You can already do play it in VR.
Yeah,
I
oh,
did-
yeah,
I
you
did
probably
actually.
can,
That doesn't
yeah.
surprise me.
It's a really good mod, actually. Like, it works incredibly well.
Genuinely, that's something that they should be getting on straight away, right? They should be like, let's make Minecraft work in VR and maybe be even the popular game there too. Because that's what you got to do with if you want to stay on top, you got to keep being aware of where the next thing's gonna be.
Well, somebody was saying that apparently they've got 2 years of updates planned, and in terms of what Notch was saying, he probably meant for him it's like dead. It's not the game that he made, or he just doesn't care about it. Minecraft is the most accessible game on Earth. Yeah, it might well be. Oh, apparently I'm just like flat out disconnected from Xbox Live. Okay.
Oh, good job.
Well,
How are you gonna play the game then, Fringy, idiot?
I'm asking myself the same thing.
Oh, you're
Your
lucky me and Metal are
existential
here to help
crisis.
you out.
Yeah. Got you, bro.
I'll
I've
just
been looking for the
restart the
super
game.
secret room without noticing that I already opened it and was in there, so I'm just gonna go to bus then.
So he's asking Mauler, what do you think of Mr. Nimbus?
I found him. I think I said to you and Jay. It was like hit and miss for me. Some of it was really funny, and some of it I was just like,
We were more invested in the alternate dog world where all of that
Yeah,
drama
that
was
was awesome.
happening. That was great.
Well, like maybe that's how I would split it. Mr. Nimbus is like half and half. Rick and Morty and Beth and Jerry, and the Beth and Jerry stuff I didn't care about at all.
Mm-hmm.
So like if they came on to talk to Mr. Nimbus about the potential threesome, I'd just be like, I want to go back to the fucking crazy world where time is moving. Go back to that. Or watching Rick and Nimbus at the table, I'm cool with that too. But with them being like, are we ready for a threesome? I was like, I don't know. Are you doing this because you want it, or are we doing this because it's
Yeah.
different? I just like I don't really.
I don't care as much about the alternate dog world, that's all. Like, I just want to see what's going on there. As soon as he walked back through the door and it was dark and raining, I was so happy. It's like, this is
I was
amazing.
immediately when he walked back out with
Yeah.
with Morty, I was like, oh no. You
I
made
didn't
a
put it
mistake.
together at first. That was the thing. I totally failed to put that together, and then when he went back and everything was different, I was like, I was thrilled.
Especially because it closed and everything. I was like, uh-oh. I did expect that like to be dead. I was like, oh, she's probably gonna be super old and
Yeah.
married again or something. I thought it would just be like a small little joke in the episode. But
This is
that was,
Rick and
like, the
Morty. They're
part
gonna
of
push
the
it to.
episode.
They're gonna just push that.
It was great.
Like, then he
Yeah,
stabs.
well, that's the thing with them. I could picture that. What they could have done is it was one and done when he got the wine, and the rest of the story carried on. And that kid vows revenge on the boy from the teleporter. And then, like, fucking season finale, he just, like, turns up and he's like, yo! And we're
Yeah.
just like, what? He just, like, starts stabbing boys.
Time. All I had was time. I think we should just be friends. Oh yeah, that's cool.
He fell to the tree in the white room thing.
Oh, the owl at the end of time. Such a waste. Mother?
And when Rick was like, why does everybody always do birds with, like, cyberpunk?
Yeah. The fact that he tries to stop them and they rip out all of his augmentations, like, oh shit, like, it's not so good.
It's like, oh wait, that was cool.
I think that's what I found funny. They were like, I'm gonna Deus Ex Machina this thing. I'm like, oh, and then they actually like just it doesn't work, and it's like, oh, that's actually way funnier. Like, Rick just assumes everything will go fine, and as soon as it doesn't, he's like in serious trouble.
He's also just clearly at peace with the idea that he might just die. He's like, oh, damn it, oh well.
Yeah.
When that one son gets kicked out of the castle and goes like, to the dark parts and everything.
Yeah.
And then he gets double crossed by his new master, and then Morty appears like, oh shit, he's real. I was wrong. I was wrong.
I was so wrong. God is real.
Oh, that's so good.
That reminds me of the oh fuck, that joke with the guy who needed to get killed, and then he would go to this, and then like he would go to this crazy cool heaven, and then Morty's like, oh, it's great that you have proof that like the afterlife exists, and the guy just looks at him weird. It's like, oh, it's like, oh, what? That's just, you know, I figured you just, like, you knew that, and then he runs away, like, no, I don't want to die, and then gets run over, and the ghosts start dragging him to hell. Oh, God, it hurts, it's all real. Oh, I shouldn't have let you make me doubt it. Oh, I blame you. I blame you.
I blame you.
I think that's the icing on the cake there. I blame you.
That joke kind of summarizes the comedy you can expect from Rick and Morty, I think.
Yeah. It's funny though, because
Bluff you.
somebody would sit there and be like, well wait, you hate BoJack when like they explain the joke, but you don't, you like it when Rick and Morty like does? I guess all I'd say is like, I don't know, it's a balancing act.
Explain the joke's interesting to say about that one. It would be like, so the common argument in response to a religious person is just like, how do you have any proof? And just that question, not even the question actually, him just being like, it's pretty neat that you have it. And that like destroys his whole worldview. That's funny on its own, right?
And then the fact that it is real. Like,
well, him getting killed, just like, that's just funny, good old slapstick, I guess. And then demons clawing at him to bring him down.
yeah.
As if you're like, it doesn't affect you unless you're aware of it, the
Yeah.
religion or something. And then the fact that it's real, that's how it runs out. They literally like grab you. And yeah,
And it
think
hurts.
icing on the cake. He's in pain, and he just says, "I blame you."
Yeah. I remember really
he
like.
made all the decisions himself, but
That's right.
You know, I blame Morty.
I find it amusing because in chat you mentioned Morty's Mind Blowers is underrated. It's like, yeah, it is. There are a lot of really good jokes in that one. Like the I really like the one where it's just take things for granted. It's like, yeah, you know, we really shouldn't take things for granted. It's like, what? It's granted. Have you been saying granted this whole time? And then Rick is just staring at him like, oh, you like that, huh? I bet that really blows your mind. And I remember I laughed my ass off when I heard him say that. Oh, what was the squirrel one? That was really funny. You know, like the chemtrails. There's like a canopy over Uganda. It's set to agitate any... What? That kid, he's watching us. So what? He's a kid. We're squirrels. He's watching us like he knows what we're saying. Hey, young man, come here, little boy. He's walking away. Put a $1.99 on a possible Doolittle. Little boy! We'll give you wishes if you can hear us. We'll make you fly and get candy.
Then Rick is like, "Oh, you pissed off a squirrel."
Yeah. You fucked with squirrels, Morty. We got 5 minutes until they're backing up in our ass again, Morty. We gotta leave this universe because we can't stay here because of squirrels, Morty. I like how that just destroyed everybody's theories about the universe that they're in. It's like, now you have no idea, like, what universe they're in. I just find it really crazy to think about that. And I mean, it was the reason why that episode was so great, the Love Potion one, but like, ever since that episode, we have never seen the original, like, family again. Or except for that one time, and when they all got frozen. Like, all we have, that we know that we still have, is original Rick and original Morty, and that's it. And even then, you sometimes wonder if this is his original Morty. I think it's safe to assume that it is.
I remember when fucking Nimbus said something like, what happened to, that he's like Craig or something?
Yeah.
And then Morty's like, who? And he's
Yeah.
like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's just funny. This history that you're just not fully aware of.
Now fuck police. Okay. Controls the police. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, what's that mean? It's like, oh yeah, he just mind controls them.
I just like the idea that his arch nemesis is Aquaman. Like, it's just amusing. Because it's always just the lame one, the water guy. Oh yeah, and like now it's no doubt Amber Heard is definitely an Aquaman too. Like there was a post that went around where it's like a little note from James Wan of like, oh, welcome back. It's like, oh, ain't that nice? Like, I just feel so weird that like everybody just like, people are just not happy, but they're just like boldly going forward because of just it's just legal shenanigans. You can't release people from their contracts and stuff without having to pay a bunch of money.
Of course, it's not the same degree, but it just reminds me of the O.J. Simpson stuff. We all know, but it's like, well, what are you gonna do?
What can be done? It's just, as far as the law is concerned, nothing's changed, so... What are your thoughts on Terminator 3 and 4? I remember 3 just being, like, generic. That's the best I got for that, but I haven't seen it in, like, well over a decade at this point. I'm pretty sure, anyway.
I copy it, too.
Yeah, and then Salvation, I remember just... I don't even remember Salvation much at all. All I remember is, give me a fucking answer. Like, I don't come around tearing your lights down. That's all I remember about Terminator Salvation.
5 minutes remaining.
Pretty funny. I wonder if Christian Bale, what would your reaction be if he heard you say that? That's all I remember. Terminator Salvation
Was your rant. Hey, look, it was brilliant. I love that. It's one of the funniest things. Do I come? No, shut the fuck up, Bruce. Do I come? No! No! You don't shut me up!
Dude, it's always rants like that. You can't help but want to be the person to be like, just don't do it, just stop, just go away, just go to a different route. You're gonna regret this. You're gonna regret this.
What was it? I was just checking the light. Oh, good for you! Well, how was it? I hope it was good, because it's useless now, isn't it? It's just so funny. I love it. I suppose Warner Brothers will pay one way or another. Well, so I guess that was what I was thinking in my head. The logic must be whatever we would have had to have paid her to release her from her contract and even a potential lawsuit, whatever that was, it is preferable that we just release the movie with her in it, that it will be either cheaper or better for us. That's my guess.
They told James Wan to write her death, just so they could deal with it this way.
I mean, I guess that could have been an option. The problem
I mean, in Aquaman 2, like the end of the film, she dies or something.
Rips and breaks her neck.
Slips. It's just. Tom Cruise had a similar breakdown with the new Mission Impossible movie. I heard about that, but I haven't seen that. Do you think it was that it's cost management, or they really side with it? So, I guess the problem is that we assume that these are just cynical corporations, but I mean, like, they have interacted with her. They worked with her on this film. Like, there's a good chance that James Wan just likes her. That would happen if you're working on a set with somebody. And it may just be that, like, he fought for her, or Jason Momoa fought to keep her on. And of course, as far as... Because they released Johnny Depp after the thing came down that to a civil standard in the United Kingdom, the accusations were proven to be, well, to a civil standard they were accepted as true. What can you do? As far as the law is concerned, he is somewhat guilty and she is not guilty at all. Like, now of course you can have a perspective on that like everybody does, but as a company, what choice do you have at that point? At least... Because usually contracts have these things where it's like, if you get in trouble with, like, the police or with the law, like, you can get released. That's usually a thing they have. But they don't have it where it's like, most of the world thinks that you suck, but, like, as far as the law is concerned, you're completely innocent. So, like, what are we to do there? There's nothing you can do. That's not a valid excuse to terminate somebody's contract. And it looks bad optically. As funny as that sounds, because... It's like, oh, you fired somebody because they were getting harassed on the internet and people were accusing them of something that, as far as the law's concerned, they didn't do. And they're a woman. It's like, yeah. There is still optics at play, as much as it's easy to assume that there aren't any. I don't know. It's complicated.
Huh.
Mira died on the way to her home planet. I have to leave now. My home planet needs me. The law ain't perfect. Well, the problem is that it's not, because remember that was a civil suit, not a case. There are no criminal charges against Johnny Depp. So it was a civil case. So to a civil standard, the claims against him were proven. But that is not the same as to a criminal standard. Because civil means balance of probabilities. Criminal means, like, guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And it was defamation specifically against The Sun, the newspaper, not Amber Heard. The one against Amber Heard is the one in America that's happening next year.
What are his chances on that one, do you know?
Well, the problem is I don't know after that UK one. Like, I mean, as far as, in my mind, it's kind of like... That clip that got out is, like, pretty damning. But I don't know that that's enough. Or that even matters. And, of course, it's the stuff against him. Not specifically hers. Unless I think that's part of, like, the countersuit. But, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea how that would go.
Imagine you ended up in like a court case and you were a juror and you can just see Johnny Depp and Amber Heard and just like, what the fuck is my life?
Well, there wouldn't be a jury for this one because civil again, so just the judge. But yeah, I get what you mean. The sentiment.
Well, I guess you could apply it to the judge. He's just like,
Yeah.
man, check it out.
Yeah.
This one run I want to do is still going.
Right. Wow. How long have you been
Sound
doing
all
that run
sweet.
for? Like an hour?
1 hour, 4 minutes, and 50 seconds.
Oh wow. Is that
You
that's
win, yeah.
long for Isaac, right?
Well, yeah, I went to the mom, and then I just hit the R key, and now I'm doing it all over again. But I'm also really fucking powerful.
How come you didn't go further than the mum?
Because that's where I get all the items, and I didn't have as much health, so I didn't want to risk ruining the R key, or not using the R key. And now I'm super powerful. I don't like this judgment you just did on me. Yeah. Laugh.
I'm
That was
sorry.
funny. Laugh. Yeah, I have bombs that split into two when they explode and they deal 25 damage. Or I have 25 damage, I don't know how that translates to the bombs. I think I'm going for Dogma actually. I'm pretty strong.
Damn it.
I'm tired, but I want to finish the run. I can get Tainted Azazel.
Whoa.
Yeah. Metal is a liar, metal is a gay. Hey, okay, listen.
You can't say, okay, listen, and then say anything.
Oh, yeah, but that was it. That was all I wanted to say.
What am I listening to? I don't understand.
Music. It's banging soundtrack.
I don't hear any music.
Well, just turn up the music.
Who would win, the Predator or Alice from Batwoman? Can the Predator outmatch her teleportation?
I don't think so.
No, he's dead.
Yeah, plot will spare Alice completely. And
Look how likable
Dude,
Alice is.
I can't
Also,
believe-
she just threw a knife in someone's throat again.
yeah, I was about to say that's what we just saw in the latest episodes. There was a guy who came in for therapy, and she just threw a knife at his throat like she always does. And they don't care, and there's no acknowledgement that she's a villain. Like, I'm sorry, she's gotta go. Like, I can't deal with it anymore. Her presence
Yeah.
on this show frustrates the hell out of me.
And bringing back Kate, so imagine how much that's gonna fucking annoy.
Yeah.
Because those two will have to regenerate that relationship when it's a different actress. That's gonna be weird as fuck.
Mm-hmm. Ned Flanders doesn't get a second chance, though.
I miss Ned.
I love how their logic is, oh, you were mind controlled to be evil. It's like, get out of here. Just removing this moral accountability is for bullshit.
Yeah, I don't believe for a second that that was the plan. By
There's
the
no way that was the plan. I don't believe that at all. I wonder what we're gonna find out tonight as well about Lady Loki and all that. What's her story? What's her agenda?
Agenda?
Agenda.
Fringy, does it really matter?
Agenda, you fool. You're misconstruing my
think
words.
It's just a bit upsetting. I think we should focus on the right things. I mean, there was a Lady Loki in the comics.
Yay.
There you go, see? Now Metal's happy. I think we can all sort of drop this, you know?
You were mind controlled equals instant redemption arc. Yeah, basically. And it's one of those things that, I don't know, when you're writing a story, I think you should sit down and really think about, like, what exactly is the point that you're trying to convey. Like, if you think about your main characters, like, you can have them just be an anti-hero. Like, that's totally fine. Or even, like, a villain. But please don't present them as the good guy. It's infuriating. It's just completely infuriating when somebody who is, like, awful is presented as highly sympathetic and deserving of a second chance. When she's done nothing to show that she deserves one. Wow, that was awful. She looks interesting,
Well,
but that's about all for Fem Loki. Well, that's all that there is that she looks interesting. There's nothing else.
I
We
don't know,
know
man.
anything about
She's
it.
the only thing with potential in this fucking show right
Well-
now. She actually explains that she found out about the TVA and she's been working to stop them to free the universe of these fucking space lizards. I'll be like, alright.
That sounds
That's
pretty
Lady
reasonable.
Loki, yeah.
Let's
Let's
make a
go.
show about her.
Yeah.
Pretty heroic. I don't know.
Then if our Loki is like, well, I want to be controlling the TVA. I want to control the world. Or something, I'm just gonna be like, great.
Yeah.
Like, if he actually manages to become the bad... Because that's the problem with these shows. They probably will make him the bad guy by accident.
By accident, yeah. That's the important clarifier.
Mhm.
And the villain will be the good guy.
Yep.
And then they'll say, they'll never know what you sacrificed, now do better.
I find it so amusing how many people have tried to justify that stuff in WandaVision. Like, she'll be a villain in Doctor Strange. It's like, she won't. I would
It's
actually...
too late, though, right?
It's too late.
Like,
It doesn't
shouldn't you
matter.
be
Yeah.
disappointed with what they've done so far?
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't you be unhappy with the state of WandaVision as a show?
No, because she'll be a villain in the next thing, so it'll be okay. As if that's even an answer to the thing. Oh, yeah, Snow White reboot is official now. Like, remake. That's official. Someone's just mentioned it in chat.
And she is
That'd be
non-white,
great.
and I've seen lots of people complaining about that already.
Well, isn't the complaint specifically that she is described as skin like as white as snow? Isn't that like the really
that?
awkward part?
Well, but the thing is, like, if you're adapting...
Ah, it's
you
true.
just
Yeah,
like,
you could just
so
change
the
the line,
times where I think this is really valid is when that is a part of, like, the storyline.
like Black
they
Panther.
raise, or it's baked
Yeah.
into the actual location of the story taking place and stuff. When it's like, when all you've got is she was described in the book as white, I'm just like, okay. So, well, because, and I don't think people are that consistent on this. I really don't. It's. I believe that it is because of the state of the world that we're in that people like, fuck this again, and I agree with them. I'm like, yeah, we know what we're in for. We know what's happening here. However, Nick Fury is like the classic example, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, he was white, and then Samuel Jackson played him, and now it's like all changed like around that because that's what people view as Nick Fury.
And if someone was like, yeah, but he's a really good actor, I'd be like, in that case,
She might be a really good
let's-
actress, and we'll have
yeah,
to
let's
see.
give her,
Yeah.
give her a shot. I know
I'm just
I know it
cynical
sounds
about the
like
project
bullshit, but-
itself. I think that's
Yeah.
that's my bigger issue. Is I'm sick of these remakes. Like I don't really care what they look like. I'm just sick of it. Though I did see the other day that there are like set photos for the Little Mermaid. It seems like that is hardcore adaptation. It looks like they're in a Caribbean like town with slaves and stuff.
What? Excuse me, what?
So the set photos, it looks like a Caribbean town like Kingston or something, and there are a lot of people who it looked like that time period, right? Like in the slave trade. You know, like the 1750s. That was my assumption. Maybe I was wrong to assume that they were slaves, but like that's the impression I get from that photo. That this is like a plantation or something in the Caribbean, and these are slaves.
That sounds wild.
Dalmatian plantation.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but it doesn't look like it's set in it does not look like it's set in the Netherlands or wherever, or Denmark, wherever it's actually normally meant to be set.
Man, I remember all those slaves from Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's adaptation though,
favorite
right?
part of
Like,
the story.
but remember, it's adaptation, so you know,
I know.
you gotta be.
Sounds insane though.
Well, yeah, but I guess it explains a lot, right? Like, if it's actually set in that region, then the casting, like, then from a casting perspective, it starts to make a lot more sense, right? Like, if mermaids are mythological creatures, but this is set around the Caribbean, then I guess it would make more sense. If that's what we're trying to do, like, apply sense to the lore of The Little Mermaid, the Disney live-action remake.
To see how it all plays out. Yeah, it has nothing to do with a fucking race. It's gonna be a shit film.
Oh, yeah, of course. Don't care for race swaps, but I saw tweets about it going off on Twitter on people, especially if you're white. Oh, no, is that like... oh, did she get into arguments with people on Twitter about this? The actress?
Probably not a wise idea.
That would have been a mistake. Just disengage completely, I would say, if I was her. I didn't know about any of that. I just saw the news. Again, I'm just sick of these remakes. I'm tired of it. I'm over it. Like the Indy 5 director.
Perspective on Cruella on Saturday.
Yeah, I saw the stuff with James Mangold, right? Or Manigault, the guy who did Logan, who's now doing Indiana Jones 5. That was really bizarre. I don't think I've ever seen, like, a director on a major project like that arguing with just YouTubers on Twitter. Like, that was,
It was a bit cringy. I feel like you can be the director who's just like, yeah, I don't care about this shit, I'm making movies.
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't just ignore it completely. Oh, the actress tweeted that she would not be quote-unquote bleaching her skin for the movie. Oof! That's a big oof. I don't know why you would tweet that out.
I'm sure lots of lefty people like that she said that.
Isn't that like... Is that a joke about, like, whiteface or something, though? Is that...
I assume that the idea there is that, like, you know, I'm gonna be me playing the role. I'm not gonna be doing.
But why would you call attention to it? Like, if it's
being said to her on Twitter.
I guess, but I feel like it's just like not wise to tweet that out. You know, like you know you're gonna piss some people off, and it might be misinterpreted. So.
Yeah, but would she listen to us saying that? I don't think so.
I don't know. I feel like I'd want to sit down and have a conversation and be like, let's talk about optics. So, optically, do you think that this is gonna pan out well? Remember professionalism? I don't even know if I'd apply it to that. I just feel like it's not... You're not really gonna gain anything by getting into arguments with people on Twitter about, like, your movie. Especially if you are, like, a big Hollywood director. It's not like this is like his first rodeo. I mean, he did Logan, like he's made bigger movies before, and he made something else that I've definitely seen, but I can't remember what it was called. Is Cruella
Logan
2?
would have like a lot of favor with people too.
Yeah, absolutely. Is Cruella 2 a thing, or is it just a meme? No, it's a thing. It's happening, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then definitely not making it because Cruella was so successful.
What do you mean? What do you think, then?
I reckon they're making it because just like the thing they probably girl power to some degree, but also just trying to kickstart their own
Cruella
Disney
universe.
Cinematic universe potentially.
Dude.
Well, why not?
Oh.
Why not? You know, Cruella meets up with what's the other one that they've done already?
Maleficent.
Demon person. That's the one, yeah.
That would be
Isn't this getting cringe to think about?
It is, but now that you've suggested it, now I can't not see that. Oh no, I don't like this.
And there's this like they got to take down some kind of person, and Cruella shows up in a fucking. What even is the car she has? They call it DeVille. Is that the actual like make?
I don't know.
Well, whatever. Either way, like she'll show up and get out with her 2 henchmen, and Maleficent will have some kind of thing. They do a big fight and team up with Ursula. Battle sea monster. I
Well,
don't fucking know.
I remember that Emma Stone said she wanted to see an Ursula prequel.
The thing, man. Like I wouldn't be surprised. Like it's just they're big and fat enough now that they could probably just jumpstart their own.
But
Franchise.
why
They
don't
don't
we
have to
have-
the Dark Universe result?
Why don't we have prequels for like the male villains?
Well, they've said there was that tweet, right? That was like, who do we want to see next? And Frollo is one of the people are talking about.
I mean, Frollo's a really cool character. I just don't want them to make any of these movies.
Yeah, same.
But like, I don't see them doing a Frollo because they wouldn't make him sympathetic. Which is the objective. That's the objective with these prequels, is to make sympathetic, like, the villain characters. Like kind of like a total rewriting of
Are you saying
the
that
story.
because he's a guy, or because of what
I
he
think
does? Because remember what Cruella does.
I know what Cruella does, but I think it would just be because he's a guy. Yeah, I think that would be it. I don't know that we're interested in seeing the sympathetic backstory to male villains.
That's a shame.
Well,
But also, well,
I think it's a good thing because I don't want these movies to happen. Like, I don't want them to come out. But at the same time, like, I do like Ursula in
Well,
Little
you know
Mermaid. She's a cool
what
character.
part of what you just said is the shame specifically,
Yeah.
right? It's not the fact that we're not going to get the movie. It's that they would do it for women, but not for men.
Well, I mean, maybe I'm making an assumption there, but like, I guess I don't. The fact that I even had that thought says something about like, why would I have that thought? It's like, well, what has the industry shown me lately, in terms of like the priorities here? We did our prequel movie about the one who skins dogs, but like we don't. Conversely, what's the bad guy in Beauty and the Beast, like Gaston or whatever he's called? What was
Yeah,
his
he's-
like great crime? He wanted to kill the beast. Like that was his
People consider him, he's a womanizer, and then
Yeah.
he's too aggressive, I guess.
right. I don't know. Is that as bad as killing dogs and wearing them and saying that you want to have their bash their skulls against like the furniture? You know what I mean? But like we're not interested in that. And Jafar, what was Jafar's thing? He wanted to be like he wanted to be, I don't know, a bunch of power so that he could be in charge.
Yeah, I think he was just a power guy. I'd have to remember.
Yeah. But we're never gonna
But I mean,
get
they've
like a
only done
Jafar prequel,
2,
you know?
right?
They have only done 2, but like the fact that Ursula was suggested, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the next one. Like that wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe there are other
then
ones that have
3 would be
been
a pattern.
announced. I guess I don't know. I'm fine with villains being three-dimensional, but these backstories are just lame. It's basically just the film telling us these villains are sympathetic and we should feel bad. Well, I would say that it's not that. That it's just a flat-out retcon. Like, these villains aren't really the villains anymore. Cruella is not the villain anymore. She's a
Yeah.
different character. She's a bad person,
bad-
but she's not a
Yeah, she's a
villain.
bad person, but she's not Cruella de Vil.
I just find I just find it weird that they call it a sequel, prequel,
It's
to the
not, yeah.
movie,
It's not.
and
It's
then they just go somewhere completely different. Like,
But it's the same with
makes no
Maleficent,
sense.
right? It's the same with Maleficent. Like, it's outright. She does not like put a curse on, and especially after that sequel, I'm pretty sure she's just an outright protagonist at that point. But like, oh, she's got a little bit of a dark streak, but still, she's the hero. Like, it's not. It's as opposed to what Maleficent was, where she was just flat out villain completely. She turned into a dragon, and then the good guy threw a sword at her. Like, she's just a
Okay.
villain. Oh no, in the original, that's what happened. I'm not sure.
Oh,
how-
okay.
What just happened there? That grenade I got stuck and then it fell off. Wow.
Yeah, that's the most kind of annoying thing is that the film was aware of Cruella being like, we know who she is or supposed to be, but at the same time they were like, that's not who she is though, or at least not right now.
No,
and I doubt
because
they're ever going to push her toward it. In
I don't
any
think they
sequels.
can, because how can people don't like animal cruelty. Like,
How
that's a
did-
big thing
it's
that
just
people don't like.
What scenario do you contrive that forces her to skin a puppy?
Puppies.
It's just not gonna happen.
To wear them. Put them on clothing.
It's like, and someone's. I can only think of shitty things where it's like, no, she has to in order to pay off a debt to save her children or some shit. You're like, what?
But then she wouldn't actually do it. She just wouldn't do it because you can't.
I was gonna say, it would also, even if we were to, it was really well written, we would still be like, well, you've just made a different fucking character.
I can't wait for Scar to have a trauma-filled past. No, we're not making Scar sympathetic. He's just a bad guy. Despite the fact that he's actually one of the more sympathetic Disney villains. At least I would say he's more sympathetic. Do you want to know how I got this scar?
Game, let me finish.
Damn it, I delivered him a rocket and the sniper. Damn it. Are there any Disney live-action remakes you guys like? Personally, I consider Cinderella and Jungle Book a 5 or 6 out of 10s. I mean, I don't know if I've seen Cinderella. I don't know. I'm not sure that I've seen that one. As for Jungle Book, I remember it just being fine.
I feel like these are different, what we're dealing with right now. The Maleficent Cruella one, at least, maybe I'm wrong, but I just, like, focusing on a main villain and providing an alternative past and basing it in the idea of it being a prequel, like, this isn't quite the same as doing a live-action 101 Dalmatians, you know?
Well, I think that's the thing is, it's weird because, like, the remakes that they've been doing are almost, like, one-to-one, but with minor tweaks that are worse. Like, I'm pretty sure Lion King had a lot of the outright identical dialogue to the original, except Zazu isn't as funny. Or like Scar says things that are a little bit weirder, or the hyenas say lines that just aren't as good. Whereas Cruella is like wholly original in a certain sense. Like, yeah, it's based on Cruella de Vil, but
super thin.
Exactly, and it's Maleficent's kind of the same as well. It's basically a wholly original thing. Whereas Aladdin, Lion King, Cinderella, they're like almost one-to-one. Or about as close to one-to-one as you can get, like, remakes of the original movies. I remember Jungle Book being a bit different, but, I actually really like the original Jungle Book, so... Yeah.
Holy shit.
I like Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland. I almost don't count that in the category. It feels like Cinderella was the one that kicked off this trend. Or Maleficent. I think it was Maleficent was the first one of, like, this modern era of live-action Disney remakes that are, like, almost churned out like an assembly line. It's like, yep, we gotta do Cinderella now, get it out. We want it, like, we want a new one every year. Feels that way. I mean, I'm pretty sure there were, like, 4 in 2019. Because there was, like, Lion King, Aladdin, Maleficent sequel, and something else. Dumbo. Yeah, that's the one. Dumbo.
Dumbo.
And I can't stand it. I'm so sick of it.
5 minutes remaining.
Almost like you don't want them to make money.
It's
Well,
just...
annihilated Dogma.
It's disappointing that they make so much money. Like, at least like Disney's like animation team, even if like whether or not the movies are good or bad, like at least they make original things. Like they don't often make sequels, they're just making new stories. There's some value in that. Like that new one that they put out, Raya Last Dragon, like that's an original idea. That's something. Like that's at least something.
Depends on who you talk to about that.
Oh, right, because they will
Whether or not
compare it
it's
to Atla, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Why do they do that?
Atla just revolutionized storytelling to a
Yeah,
degree.
there was never anything like Atla before Atla, right?
Yeah.
Is the idea literally... Is the idea simply, oh, you've got a story that's an action-adventure and it's set in a Southeast Asian-inspired place, so it's Atla? Because that's dumb as fuck, if that's actually what people are saying.
Dude, literally, one of the connections was there was a bad guy who turns into a good guy.
That's, like, common.
After, like, when chasing our heroes, they eventually become
what?
a good man.
That...
I think it's a lot of people that applies to that Atla was after, but fine. It's fine.
Oh, there's only one guy in the enemy. Oh, this fucking sucks. God, I was wondering why we were still in this match like 10 hours later. Lady and the Tramp on Disney Plus. Yeah, there was that too. So there were 5 in 2019, and then we took a bit of a break. But now we're back with Cruella, and then probably Little Mermaid soon after that, and then Cinderella, and then what else are they making? Lion King 2. Pretty sure they're making a Jungle Book sequel as well. And they'll come for everything. It's only a matter of time until they get to like Treasure Planet and stuff, the more obscure ones. They'll come for those too. That's what Lindsay Ellis said and got her cancelled. What, saying that people were comparing it to Atla because it was set in Southeast Asia?
No, she said it was a ripoff.
Oh. Oh, she said it was a ripoff and she got cancelled for that.
Yeah, she said that like a lot of YA novels and other content from this era, whatever, copies Atla because. Well, I mean, the thing. Sometimes I respect a lot of what Lindsay Ellis says, but sometimes she says stuff is fucking stupid.
And that's one of them.
Well, there's no fucking way it's that simple. Even if a wizard said, no, she's right, I'd be like, oh, okay. Fucking Atla was just that good that its storytelling ideas just spread into fucking everything everywhere. The funny part is, you, myself, and Ragged, and Metal, none of us fucking watched it.
Yeah.
I just beat the beast offline.
And we're the people that, like, watch everything. Well, we watch a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and I've never seen it.
And then it's just like, we
a
talk about
lot of
stories
people missed
constantly.
it. A lot of people missed that show. I didn't watch. I didn't fucking watch Nickelodeon. Like, I never watched it, really.
As we talked about with The Hunt and Hunger Games, a lot of people just don't know what Battle Royale is. It's possible.
It's entirely possible, yeah. Thanks for subscribing, dude. Hello, Frank, I've been dealing with depression-tisms in the last year or so, but the streams from you and the rest of EFAP have greatly helped. Thanks. That makes me happy. I'm glad that it helps. And I hope you start feeling better. Oh, somebody just wrote out a list of all the stuff. So Disney Plus has Peter Pan and Wendy, Pinocchio, Sword in the Stone, Robin Hood, Lilo and Stitch, and an untitled Prince Anders film. And I saw before that there was Little Mermaid, like Hunchback, Aladdin sequel, Lion King sequel. Like, I can't... It's like there are like 50 billion movies that are just live-action remakes, and there's like... Meanwhile, yeah, there's only one, like, original animated movie that comes out of Disney each year, and sometimes there's a gap. Are they actually doing Lilo and Stitch? Yeah, I've heard of that one, so I can believe that. I can believe any of them at this point. Like, that's how bad it's getting.
As I've said to you before, the one good thing that comes out of it is that we all go ahead and rewatch the animated classic.
Yeah, and then we get really happy, because even like, the later Disney ones, like, I remember Lilo and Stitch, it's probably a pretty good movie.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, I remember really enjoying it as a kid.
One thing you know that's going to have is the heart will be in the best place possible.
Absolutely. Because it was an original idea. It was an original, nifty idea. Do you ever find... I find this interesting now when I think about it, like, how one of the things that gets talked about now is, oh, you know, now we're getting, like, our characters who represent these different regions of the world. It's like, but even by the time Lilo and Stitch had come around, like, pretty much every single place had seen a character in some way or another. I mean, that one was as obscure as Hawaii. And then they were like, oh, Moana, that's like the first Polynesian Disney princess. It's like, okay, like, I don't care about this Princess Monica, because you've had characters from these places before. It feels weird. It's just a marketing shtick.
Well, as a lot of people point out, it's like almost a meme, like Black Panther, the first film to have a black protagonist.
Yeah. So you just sit there, it's like, Blade. Like, Blade.
Oh no, I'm memeing. Like
no, I
they'll
don't
even go that as far as saying, like, oh, the first film to have a woman in it. Like, whoa.
The Pinocchio remake is going to be done by Robert Zemeckis, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm not sure what I'm meant to feel about that. I don't know. I'm so cynical about it all.
Well, though they did a short 1.5 hour Isaac run.
Wow. Where's my Anastasia remake? I mean, that was
In the
Warner
closet
Brothers, though, wasn't
behind
it?
you.
As for that, I'd be surprised if let me pull up the list. We'll get the official list that we can go through of all the remakes that have been.
Depression time.
Yeah.
Well, you get depression.
You're getting sleep.
I'm
Gonna
gonna
say,
get
yeah.
sleep
having
because
trouble getting it out.
that run was way longer
Than expected.
than expected. Didn't expect to actually beat the beast. I mean, I should have because I played one run offline and balled out of control. Not gonna hear the end of it. Sure, you beat
Okay,
the
bye.
beast. Okay, fine. Sorry, I'm talking.
Goodbye.
No, stop it, Mjopsloy.
Sleep well.
Aw. Yeah, I'll catch you guys later.
See you, dude.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Bye-bye.
We already got Mulan as well. Christ, I
Oh
forgot
yeah,
about
we
that
did that. Jesus.
one. So yeah,
Ew.
the list of ones that have already been done: Cinderella, The Jungle Book, Beauty and the Beast, Dumbo, Aladdin, Lion King, Lady and the Tramp, Mulan, Maleficent, Cruella, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. If you want to include the Alice in Wonderland ones, there are 2 of those. And upcoming, Peter Pan and Wendy, The Little Mermaid, and Pinocchio. And that's like not the full list. I'm pretty sure there's a bigger list. Yeah, there it is. There's the big list of all the stuff that's coming out. Little Mermaid, Untitled Jungle Book sequel, Untitled The Lion King sequel, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which we now know is official, Untitled Aladdin sequel, Hunchback, fuck me, Jesus Christ, Bambi.
Was it just called Hunchback?
Yeah, that seems to be the name for now. Bambi.
Sounds like the Solo of Star Wars story.
I
like
know,
Hunchback,
it does.
a Disney story.
It does. Hercules, which I know we'd heard about because that's like the Russo brothers.
Yeah,
I
we're all
think.
very worried about that. Yeah.
I'm super worried about that one. I just think they're going to destroy Meg. I don't think they're going to do it right. I think it's going to be really painful. In fact, I'm not even really sure. I feel like she had the perfect voice. I'm not sure who you're going to get to emulate that. And that was a really
James Woods, right?
well, yeah, that movie, and also Danny DeVito. Like, I wonder who
Yep.
they're gonna get instead of him. That's
Well,
the
they can
problem.
Get him back, right?
I guess they could get him back, but I don't know if they will. They didn't bring back Jeremy Irons. but
Danny
they
DeVito
did
was
bring
in
back-
Dumbo?
They did bring back James Earl Jones. And then an Untitled Cruella sequel, and the Disney Plus films: Peter Pan and Wendy, Pinocchio, The Sword and the Stone, Robin Hood, Lilo and Stitch, and an untitled Prince Anders film, which is related to Aladdin. And that's like what we know about now. That doesn't include the things that are already gonna get. Because when I pull up the list of like the theatrical animated features that they've made, and I look at the list of the things they haven't done, they've already pillaged a lot of them. But there's still a lot that they they've pillaged so many of these as I go through this list. They're probably going to remake the Aristocats. They're probably going to do The Great Mouse Detective.
That's gonna hurt.
Yeah. They're probably going to
I
do.
really like that movie.
They're probably going to do Tarzan. They're probably going to do The Emperor's New Groove. I could see that happening. Maybe Atlantis is safe. Which doesn't even matter because that was never one that I was super fond of. But Lilo and Stitch, they've already coming for. Treasure Planet, they're going to come for that. They will absolutely come for that. It's only a matter of time. God, and at that point, they've already, like, pillaged all of them. Like, they're starting to run out. They'll probably do The Princess and the Frog, I could see that. They'll probably do Tangled, even though that movie's only, like, 10 years old. They'll probably do that. And it's only a matter of time until they do, like, Frozen and stuff. It's like when they start getting to the things that aren't even that old. The Rescuers Down Under. I don't know if they do that one, actually. I know that Rags likes Atlantis. Yeah, but what I'm saying is it doesn't mean a whole lot to me, but it might mean a lot to other people. It seems like Pixar are safe. Like, Pixar will get left in their little corner. Because if they made,
We'll see.
Dude, if they made a live-action remake of fucking Toy Story, I think, like, at that point, I want to find the nearest cliff and jump off of it.
Yeah,
like-
because the second they do one of them, it's all over.
Yeah, it's over. We'll get Finding Nemo, The Incredibles live-action, fucking Ratatouille live-action, WALL-E live-action, Up, Monsters, Inc., where they'll say it's live action even though it's totally animated, and we'll have a realistic looking Sully and Mike just haunting live action Inside Out. Yeah, probably. At that point, yeah, we'll be done. Even though we already are, like, I'm pretty unhappy with all of this, because it's like, and it's funny because somebody would be like, well, a lot of those like Disney animated films, they weren't original; they were based on something that existed. It's like, you know what? They were, but they took the source material and adapted it substantially. The
You mean
little
like Cruella?
Well, so that's where the conversation's leading, right? Is like, so you look at something like The Little Mermaid, where it's the animated movie is based on the original, but it's substantially different in meaningful ways. Will this remake be substantially different based on those set photos that were leaked? Yes, kind of, but it will still have the same fundamental structure as the original film, most of the same characters and the same underlying plot, with minor tweaks. And that's like the best you can expect in terms of changes, because it's probably more likely that you'll have stuff like Lion King, where it's like a 1-to-1 remake with exactly the same lines, but some worse lines and some shittier songs. And then I guess at that point, it's like, so what? Do you actually prefer Cruella? It's like, maybe I do prefer the existence of something like Cruella compared to the remakes, because, like, at the very least, you had to put some fucking effort in to make it different. That effort was wasted. I would have preferred if you'd made something brand new, but, you know. But these movies make too much money. These movies just make too much money. We go through the list. Jungle Book made $1 billion. Pretty sure. Oh, they even got a helpful list that tells me how much money they made. Alice in Wonderland made $1 billion. Maleficent made $758 million. Cinderella made $550 million. Jungle Book made $1 billion.
Damn.
Alice Through the Looking Glass didn't make its money back, really, or it doesn't look like it. Beauty and the Beast, $1.26 billion. Dumbo, $353 million. Aladdin, $1 billion. The Lion King, $1.65 billion. Maleficent 2, $491 billion. Mulan didn't make much money, but Mulan also released, like, in a weird way, so it's unclear how much money it made. But
Also, wasn't my brain's melting? Was Mulan COVID times?
Yes. Well, remember, it's
Yeah.
Disney Plus. It didn't have a theatrical release, really. So even $69 million.
COVID era kind of puts it. It's obviously they're going to make less than they would have.
Well, yeah, because case in point, Cruella made $159 million, but that doesn't include how much money it made on Disney Plus. And I think it's
sorry, was that did Mulan only come out on streaming, or was it on theaters as well?
I think it was in theaters in some places, but it wasn't in America, and I don't think it was in China either, which was like their big market that they wanted to capture, I think. I think it's safe to say that whatever numbers Mulan had, they were probably lower than they wanted, but it's hard to even say because it was COVID times. Yeah, it was just COVID times, so you have to deal with that. It's so lame. I'm not... Yeah, they all made so much money. We're doomed. Yeah, that's the problem. Lion King is the most successful animated film of all time. It has beaten out everything that Disney has ever made. All of their original sort of theatrical ones, anything that the Disney Animation Studios has made now, and Pixar. Everything. It beat everything. Pixar has never made a more successful film, nor has Disney Animated Studios. It's Lion King outgrossed the first Avengers film. Yeah, I think we all knew it fucking would, though. I think we all knew it would. In total, all of their live-action remakes, which, funnily enough, includes 101, 102 Dalmatians, and Jungle Book in the 90s, if you include all of them, these remakes have made them $10 billion against budgets of $2.3 billion collectively. It's over. Look at that return on investment. That's an insane return on investment. Why would they even stop? They won't, because it's a lot of money that you can make. A lot of money. What happens when they run out of movies to plunder? Well, they won't, because as long as there are a couple of studios that are making original things, and you can keep making sequels. Just make a sequels to Aladdin, make sequels to Lion King like they're already doing. Make a sequel to Cinderella. Just keep making sequels. Oh, and I forgot, the Mary Poppins got remade as well, so even the live action stuff that they made isn't safe. Imagine like a Flubber remake or something, or a fucking any number of the live action stuff that Disney has done coming for those two. How does it feel to watch your favorite franchises go up in flames? Feels great. Anyway, on that sour note, I'll be wrapping up shortly, so put through your last questions. Have you heard of the Battle Hub playlist or game mode for 2042? No, I haven't. Or I think I might have vaguely, but I'm not really sure what it is. Is Cruella or better or worse than the other live-action Dalmatians movies? I'm pretty sure it's worse, just categorically, than 101 Dalmatians, the remake. What do you think, Mola?
Yeah, the live-action remake for 101 Dalmatians is like, I think
a 4.
It's about as like it's still a little bit less sense than the original.
Yeah,
and then there's much more cringe in it. But I don't know that really, like that's not really a point against it compared to Cruella's plotline is fucked. Like none of it makes any sense at all.
Yeah, like if the original was a 7, and I might even be tempted to put it higher than that, but if the original is like a 7, the remake is a 4 or a 5. It's just generic late 90s 2000s what used to be considered not great, and Cruella is like a 2. It's just fucked completely.
The huge payoff at the end of the film it doesn't make sense for many reasons.
Would you consider an EFAP movies on Deep Blue Sea? I just rewatched it. It's an easy 3 out of 10, but it's entertaining.
Yeah, that's in the pipeline with a lot of movies in Finnish. Not anytime soon necessarily.
Tips for... Oh, so I missed a few questions. Have you seen The Hunt 2020? If so, thoughts? Oh, you'll find out soon enough, buddy. Last time, before I feel like I'm being annoying, can we get a tier list for Disney films? Maybe at some point. I'm not super invested in doing that, but... tips on how to have stakes with an immortal character writing a book right now. The stakes will probably just have to be tethered to people who aren't him, like family or friends, or consequences in the world that matter to him. That would be the main things to focus on. How are you feeling about Infinite? I don't know. Somewhat optimistic about multiplayer. Don't know about campaign yet. We'll have to see. Excited for Star Wars Acolyte. The showrunner said some interesting things in relation to it. Even hired a writer who's never seen any Star Wars content. Yeah, I heard about that. But I'm not excited for it at all because it's modern Star Wars stuff. Just, yeah. Thoughts on Narcos Netflix show? I watched the first 2 seasons. I really enjoyed it. Thought it was a cool show, but I haven't seen anything after that. Not season 3, not the Mexico spin-off either. Would you guys ever go back to see that Rogue One's good?
Probably not.
Yeah. What's your favorite 3D era video games? What's your favorite era in 3D games? Oh, 6th gen. PS2, GameCube, Xbox. I guess if you want to include the Dreamcast as well. Any Switch game recommendations besides Tetris? Got a big trip coming up and looking for something big to play, considering Monster Hunter Rise. I mean, that might be one. I haven't played it, so I couldn't tell you, but I mean, I guess the simple ones are like Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. Maybe Breath of the Wild more so if you're looking for a really big game. Finished Breaking Bad, loved it. Accurate assessment. Thoughts on True Lies? I think it's an overlooked James Cameron film. I haven't seen it in a long time.
I like it a lot. True Lies is awesome. Though, there is that. I haven't watched it since I found out, but Eliza Dushku's in that. She's
Yeah.
Ani's daughter,
Mhm.
and she ends up in a jet at one point, and it was like I guess to a certain degree as real a rig as you could imagine. It was like it was at the top of like a tower or something.
Oh god.
And according to her story, she said like the stunt coordinator guy had her up in his room and wanted to do stuff, and she said no. And one of the threats he made at one point was that if you tell anybody about this, you're not gonna survive that scene.
Oh, dude. Holy shit.
Which is why, like, if I was to rewatch it now, I'm gonna be really upset watching it because I
Fuck.
obviously like her quite a bit.
That's
It's
oh
like,
man, that's awful. I know what you mean though. That would make it hard to rewatch that. You know, it's kind of it's. I've had the same thing when like I rewatch Community. I watch it and I'm having fun. I'm like, but behind the scenes, like Chevy Chase wasn't having a good time, and that sort of creeps into your mind. Though obviously this is to a
Yeah.
much worse extent, because she was a kid, and that was a
In
very
fairness,
serious
it's-
thing.
obviously allegation-y stuff.
Sure.
You can't know if it actually happened. Weird thing to lie about, though.
It's an oddly specific thing to say if it wasn't true. I'm pretty sure that she's had other things, like she was on a show recently, and she left it because of sexual harassment or allegations, something along those lines. And then there was something that she won in like a case. I'm not sure, something like that. What happened to Chevy Chase? Oh, just on Community, he did not have a good relationship with Dan Harmon. He didn't have fun making that show. And it seems like he didn't really get along with the cast. I think there was something with Donald Glover as well, where he said something that could easily be interpreted as a racist comment. But apparently he was joking. But it was one where it was hard to tell. And yeah, they just didn't get along well on set. And so that gets really awkward because he's really great in that show. But when you watch it, if the thought creeps into your mind, oh, there was like drama behind the scenes on this show, it can be tough to watch without thinking about it. Have you seen The Hunt 2012? One of the most engaging movies I've ever seen. Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies just ever, period. Sean Mauler holds the same view.
That's getting like best movie ever is a tough accolade, but getting required reading, that's a really, really tough one to get, and that one gets it.
Yeah, that's a movie that everybody should watch. EFAP Last Action Hero, Arnold and Charles Dance, so best of both worlds.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, all these things will probably happen at some point.
It's just a big list
What
to
I'm
get through.
curious about is if will we ever watch a movie twice on EFAP movies? I wonder.
Like
For example, if enough time passes, would we watch Lord of the Rings on there again?
that could be interesting.
I don't know.
Or what if we watch like Star Wars movies? You know, just a big EFAP movies on the Star Wars.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of movies that are already being watched that are just waiting to get released. So the backlog just keeps growing and growing.
Yeah, it's gonna keep getting bigger, I think.
But yeah, I'm probably gonna wrap it up there. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Thanks for the donations and subs. It's very much appreciated. New comic page is coming out tomorrow, so I guess keep an eye on Twitter. But otherwise, it's just standard stuff, trying to chip away at the endgame video. It's been fun. Thanks again. I'll catch you all later.